All right, for my favorite segment of these videos, I get to bully my co-host for joining me for an extremely abnormally long recording session. Paul, why did you join me this time? Exactly. Why? Why do you want to deal with me for maybe like 2 hours again, like the last time? Because once again, that is true. He is getting a salary of $0, just like my moderators. So that's fun. Welcome back to a, yeah.
I'm not getting paid? Why the fuck am I here?
I don't know. Anyways, welcome everybody to the Electric Boogaloo, the second edition of the Feh Channel Bingo, where we're going through the what we think could possibly happen, copium, with the Anniversary Feh Channel. That's about probably a week from now. I wanted to do this a little bit ahead of time, just so that we can kind of get this sort of stuff out of the way. And, well, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with me. So we've got something incredibly bare bones because last time we at least had the information that we would have a Formasol. We don't know what we're getting right now. So for right now, our free spot is a free something because I know they'll give us something. I'm probably copiuming because I have a floret there, but it could be that. It could be another Formasol. I don't know.
I think a floret could be a good choice because it's a new item. It's very short supply.
Yep.
I mean, granted, Formasol was a very big thing.
Yeah, and yet at the same time, everybody has... There's still people now who are still hoarding that free Formasol because they don't know how to spend it at all. I don't know what else to say. It's just like, you know.
Use it on someone that you want, and that's fine.
Exactly. You don't have to wait for the ideal scenario. It's like, just use it on somebody. Please, for the love of God. But, I mean, if they want to give us another, why not? I mean, I just think...
Always appreciated.
I just think the floret makes more sense, though, just because it's like... Everyone's going to want more stats eventually, so making these a lot more readily available makes sense. So, hey, if they want to give us a second free one within 6 months, just do it already, okay? Fine.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we have a bunch of slots that we need to fill up. But I will say this before... And we've already talked about this one a little bit, but we're not going to fill up immediately. I want to quickly go over a Hero Rises, because that's obviously going to happen. Everyone knows that, but I didn't want to put it on here specifically. So what we're going to do, and we're going to take a little bit of a quick turn on this one. So my whole prompt with Paul earlier is that we're going to list 3 categories. Who we want to win personally a Hero Rises, who we think is most likely going to end up winning it, and who is going to be possibly the shameless pick, which is like the pick that could happen, but nobody really wants, but could still happen. I don't know. Either way, you know what, Paul? You had a little bit of time to think about this, much as I did, but I want you to go first because it's a tradition. You went first last time, so I'm going to have you go first again. So.
All right. So for me, Heroes Rises... Usually when people discuss it, they want a unit that will be pretty much a jack of all and able to bring its content. I mean, like, you can take a look at Phoenix Master's channel with the free-to-play guides.
He's barely used them, though, to be fair, because they're not always... like, it's a limited time thing, but it's like... It's still something that people are going to be able to use no matter what. And the past 2 examples have shown that, for example... Altina was really nice to have as a free mythic, especially free Astra Mythic, since all we get are lights.
Yeah, I still use her. I still use free Astra Mythic Altina.
Yeah, I still do as well as and Reagan. I don't have any other light mythic or Astra Mythics. I mean, so it's like it's fine. She's not the best, but at least it still kind of works. And as a unit, there's still some stuff she can do. So it's like whatever.
Because what I had in mind for my own personal pick is that I personally would choose Harmonic Sheeta.
Harmonic Sheeta?
Yes.
I have not thought about that unit in a while, but I sort of get why you might want that.
Yes. Out the box, she has a really good fodder.
Yeah, floor refresh. That's going to be nice if somebody just doesn't want to use her.
Catch. Attack speed catch is amazing. And I forget what her C slot is.
I don't know if it's Fatal Smoke. I think it is.
It is Fatal Smoke. It is Fatal Smoke. Okay. Yeah.
Which is still okay. There are worse smoke skills than Panic Smoke, but I mean.
But she's a cavalry with really offensive stats. Canto in the weapon
Yeah.
Disgusting weapon.
And the classic Sheeta melee effectiveness because
yes.
Sheeta. And then the harmonic skill is actually Plumeria's dance, right? Or at least, well, it's a dance.
It's a dance to range if they're of the same
game.
Same game. Like,
which works because heroes. Everyone has heroes units. So I mean, it works out there.
Personally, that's my pick because she is a really solid thing. Like, if we're talking about Summoners Duels, just having Kanto just makes you.
It's weird because I don't actually. I might have seen a harmonic Sheeta like once or twice playing through Summer Duels, at least in recent time.
It's one of the less popular ones because you've got Brave Erica right out the box.
And then also just a summer seasonal unit, and there's also a harmonic, so it's kind of just like. Not everybody's running a harmonic unit. I mean, me saying this as I'm using Bridal Catchery, but that's because...
And me running Summer Mia.
Exactly. But you get the point.
But yeah, that would be my personal pick if I wanted to pick one unit in the style of... Well, in the sense of a unit that can destroy a lot of content.
Okay.
How about yourself?
Yeah, whereas for me, like, I'm sitting on, like, 2 picks right now. One of them is, like, I think is more realistic personal pick. And the other one is kind of just, like, you never know. It would be nice, and it would help me out a lot. The first one, honestly, I wouldn't hate it if everybody somehow collectively just decided, hey, Yuri's this much of a mess. Let's just all take him for free at this point, honestly. I think it would make the most sense given how much weird versatility Yuri can bring along. And since people really only need one copy for the sake of just having his Kanto and foul play, it's just like, I don't see how you can really lose there. And he has a lot of barebone stuff he can do. I mean, he's already set up with Sea Duel Infantry 4 if you want to use him for, like, God forbid, like Arena or whatever else. But you can put on whatever sort of other things catch your fancy and just work off of that. It's fine. Because actually, when I was playing that dreaded Summer's Duel R, I actually went up against this really weird composition where I think it was a Yuri and an Ashe that were kind of like paired together or something like that. The Yuri was running like Life and Death 7, but the and then I think Infantry Pulse, but the Ashe was running like Quicken Pulse and then whatever else, basically trying to get a pre-charged bonfire. So yeah, that was interesting. But I think mostly just down to the versatility and just because, I mean, it's just like, no matter what you can do, because you have to think as well. Altina and Dual Lin, once everybody sort of got them for free, eventually people were trying to figure out, you know, sort of like counters and that sort of stuff. Because as soon as everybody got their copy of Dual Lin, she became irrelevant in a week because everybody was setting up counters for that. And even now it's like, But how are you supposed to counter Yuri with his 3 movement, Kanto, and foul play? Literally, it's just... I guess everybody's just going to start perma-running Reeve.
Very little you can do against a Yuri.
Literally, the only thing you can do is hope he gets near a Reeve, like a Reeve hit.
Yeah,
because
that's it.
But that might not even happen because 3 move, but still. How are we going to get consistent stall to make it hit him?
And what I've noticed is that Yuri players make sure that they keep the furthest away from the slow units. Yeah, and he can do that with 3 movement innately. It's just like, how are you supposed to stop that, you know? It's just like, you're kind of just, I don't know, but, you know, whatever. But that's what I wouldn't mind it either, because I want to mess around with this stuff, and I actually like Yuri. I mean, yeah, it soured the taste for a lot of people given what he has, but, I mean, take bar away from the mode as is, I think he's just a fun unit overall. I personally think, like, they should have not given him Kanto, but he literally has Kanto. Honestly, I think the best... If it was Kanto 1, I think it would have been fine, but Kanto 2 is ridiculous. Especially when he's a 3-move infantry as well. It's like, good God. Like, not even Brave Alm can really do that, and I perma-run him because of obvious stuff, but then again, he also has a wind sweep, so it's like... Same sort of idea, but it's like... Oh, but you get the idea, though. It's nuts, honestly. But the one I really want, though, would be kind of funny, and I think has gotten a lot of relevance recently. Valentia Impala.
Not only do I not have a single copy of them yet, but I mean, because of some stuff and just among people just realizing, hey, this is actually a pretty good unit. It's just like, why not? Simply. But I mean, that's a whole personal stuff, but I don't think Paul's going to win.
Is a good pick, but I think most people have already sorted out counters for that in sort of higher play or something.
Kind of. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. I really couldn't
in normal
say
PvE, amazing.
Exactly. And I think that's fine, honestly. Just realistically, it's just like, you've got a lot of stuff that you can do there, and I mean, why not? And another reason why it might not even work, because I think it's March, right? That the rerun's coming back? Because I'm going to be sparking on that, guaranteed.
What, for Yuri?
No, for Paula, because the Mewmore one. Yeah, they got the one. So I mean, it works. That's when I'm getting my Paula, unless I want to give it to this earlier. But there's no way the community's going to do that. So, and not even Yuri either. So who do you think is actually going to be the pick then?
Well, I personally do think that Yuri will win.
Really? No way. I don't see that at all.
I 100% see it. But if not Yuri, I think relevancy bias, INTSYS Fafnir.
I was actually going to say Dogger. INTSYS Dogger.
Yes.
That is what I'm thinking realistically.
Any of the good INTSYS units.
Being able to get... No, just the Pathfinder shenanigans you can do with that Dogger, even just as a one-off copy, is going to be nuts. And it will open up a whole lot more gameplay opportunities for everybody. So, I mean, Fafnir, he can do some stuff, but Dogger is going to be able to provide so much more innately that it's just like...
I'm thinking either Yuri, INTSYS Fafnir, or Dagger. I totally agree.
But I don't think she is my shameless pick at all, because I think there's someone who could be arguably worse. Who is yours then, though? Because I think... If you say Fatal, I swear to God, but it's like, no.
It's something that could possibly happen.
Copium, but what is it?
It could possibly happen, and people are probably stupid enough to do it. Fallen Edelgard.
No,
I'm sorry. I can see it happening.
Yeah, it's a little silly. No, like another dumb pick. What if everyone just picked Berica again because of the idiots? No, not me, by the way. We didn't get Berica as a free pick. It's like...
I don't think it would be Berica, because I think
I know
most people that wanted Berica already got Berica.
I regret not grabbing. I regret grabbing my free gatekeeper. I did not do anything with him.
Same. I ended up foddering off to Mia. So
I've been thinking about it. I just don't have the perfect one. But the point is, it's just weird because people have actually been talking about wanting Berica. It's like, what? I know I've seen it before, but that's not what it is.
Most people picked Gatekeeper because they thought, it's the
it's Gatekeeper. Why not? The art's good. It's just like, as a unit, he's just underwhelming for the first place pick. It's just like, whatever though. But
for the first time ever, the second place picks were all the broken ones.
And I mean, I still deal with some annoying Mars because people are ridiculous. And I just haven't seen Marianne at all. But it's all just been the Erica show, literally. But I mean, it's whatever. No, but my shameless pick, and it's going to be immediate shame to anybody who does this. And I'm assuming they'll be in the voting. Whoever the mythic is that's dropping in however many days. Just shut up. People are going to do that for... That's the recency bias. The actual recency bias is going to be that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to shame everybody, even if they're bad or anything. You have such better picks, and yet everybody's apparently going to try to bandwagon. No way.
Yeah.
I don't see it. Maybe they'll get top 8.
As long as they don't really mess up the whole voting process like they did one year.
Yeah, just...
Everyone remembers Legendary Lyn.
Oh God, I don't know. Just don't remind me. Oh my God. All right.
That was when Legendary Lyn was bad.
Yeah,
now, honestly, she's amazing. But I don't have her anymore.
I don't see her at all. So it's like, in a way, it's like she's still bad, but not as, she's actually usable now. But
she's good.
Bad because
unseen good.
Yeah,
Like when you
because
face her,
have
you'll realize
tons of
like,
other units that are just better in her class type, just straight up. But I don't know.
Okay.
But you know what? Let's just hope that everybody doesn't screw up on Hero Rises, and God forbid, hopefully they didn't screw up on this first thing. It's time, everybody. We're gonna flip the script for the first actual thing that's going on the bingo. Sure, I put it as yo, but that's not the point. If it actually won't just completely scuff up. CYL Final Preds. We're doing that right off the bat. So congratulations, we're flipping the script. I actually want to kind of go off first on this by saying, and I don't know if you feel the same way as well, but realistically, and this is just me, I think the interim should just straight up be the final results. Honestly, I don't think anybody would complain about that one.
I am in agreement on that one. Like the interim
we've got Byleth, sure, but it's fine.
Balance.
We have basically 3 of the 4 units that everybody sort of wants, and I'll take Byleth for a very specific reason, but that's not the point. Look, we've got Crom, who has been waiting. We've got Tiki, who's been waiting, has got a huge resurgence. I would not be surprised, actually, if Tiki somehow passes Crom in votes. I actually would not be surprised.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if, because of all of the weird, like, last-minute brigading and that sort of stuff, Tiki either would have gotten those votes or Seliph. And it's going to be the Marianne treatment to where he might get boosted up into first. What do you think about that? That would be interesting.
Okay, so I'm just going to hold my thing to the camera.
I'm going to act like I don't really see that.
I predict that Seliph will get first.
Really? I would honestly love it. I even saw Christian Lamont even brigading for it too after interim. He was really happy, and I mean,
he didn't realize that everyone was like, "Let's vote for Seliph."
Yeah.
But so basically, my prediction is that Seliph will take first. Crom will be second in the men's division. That's fine.
At least he won't get cucked out of third, like the whole Gatekeeper Marth thing. He's got it. I know he does. 100%.
It's got to be Crom. It's got to be Crom.
Yeah.
As for the women's,
well, I'm going to say this right now. Okay.
Adult Tiki is too far ahead to not lose.
But yeah, basically, it's like the Tiki fans are finally going to get an actual dub, because I'm not even joking. Like, adult Tiki fans have been starving since no cap year 1. What was the last one? Was it literally just Summer Tiki?
5 years they've waited in Azkaban.
And yeah, Intelligent Systems just keeps on going for the lolly bait, and it's just like, it's not like I don't hate young Tiki, but it's like, it's just like, so much of the same thing that it's like, you just expect it. It's like, come on. It's like, you brought Tiki back for a reason and awakening, and she's still hella popular, and now she's actually, you know, legal. So it's just like, why would you not do a little bit more with that in the game instead of like 2 versions of them in year 1? And yet young Tiki also got their Resplendent, and adult Tiki doesn't even have that. It's like, you know what I mean? So they've been starving so much, and they deserve the first place. But you know who doesn't deserve to be in second place? Female.
Who I've predicted to be the second place winner. Bernadetta.
No, it's not happening. I'm not going to have Bernadette happens. I'm not even joking. I didn't tweet out really anything about CYL, at least during the whole thing, because I didn't really care to. But I said one thing. I will literally gag if Bernadetta wins as top 2 slot, because there's no way I am taking that. My pride is going all into this. I do not want Bernadetta. I have my own reasons for why I genuinely don't like her. I'm not a bandwagoner that just shits on her. I genuinely do not like her. I don't know how else to say it. So it's like, if we can avoid that happening and just have Byleth in, which is like, it's fine.
This is with no disrespect to like Bernadetta fans. I'm not a fan of Funny Footsteps.
Why do you bring that up of all things? Look, okay.
It's Bernadetta's theme at this point.
The thing is, I've only ever heard Funny Footsteps to roast Bernadetta. But I mean, I don't know.
I do think that there's many loyal fans of her that will see her in third. Was it third place? Pretty sure.
Yeah, Yeah, she was in 3rd place at the time, which
Like,
I think, and
if-
behind that was like who? Hilda or not Hilda? Maybe? Who was it in 4th? I don't remember, but you get the idea. It's like, you have enough there to where it might not be Bernadetta, and I'll be okay with that. Yeah, you might be getting a little bit cucked, but my pride is on the line, my personal pride. No offense, but I'm not taking Bernadetta here.
I just have this feeling that deep down that Bernadetta might take 2nd. Like,
I don't know. I'm hoping it's Byleth. It's like neither Byleth or Bernadetta really feel like what I want for like the 2nd besides Tiki, but it's like you got to pick the most tolerable of 2 shits. You know what I mean? It's not like Byleth is bad in a way, but it's like, you know, everybody's kind of, you know, fogged in their brain about just, we're just tired of the whole avatars thing, but at least Byleth is tolerable, I think. So I'd rather have Byleth in over someone who, like, literally cannot tolerate and just
I'm personally not a fan of Bernadetta, so I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. But it's just like,
I've got this whole waifu pick thing thinking, like, I think Bernadetta's gonna just edge it.
And it's not like I have too many other stakes on this at all. I mean, when it came to my whole CYL voting, I literally didn't do an actual vote. I literally just brigaded. And you can actually say this too for another, because you have another Nintendo account.
Yes.
We know a mutual who has been probably the biggest copium out of anybody, even bigger copium than adult Tiki fans. It's the one and only Mitama commissioner who's been waiting for Mitama to get in this game the entire time. And they did a little deal, like some other people actually have throughout the whole Fire Emblem space, to, you know, get Mitama votes and do like a full Mitama ballot. So we both did that. I had no stakes in this CYL. I have everybody that I really want in the game, especially for Mechas, especially now that we literally just got Dean this month. So it's like, I'm okay with taking my votes this year. I really don't mind.
Yeah.
And especially because I know everyone else is going to be fine.
Like, if I saw Mia higher up in the interim, I would have changed from Lloyd.
Even though it would have been 2 days. But it's like, whatever. But yeah, even that, it's like, you're just voting for Lloyd to hopefully get an alt, which, I mean,
yes,
you never know, but it's like, it would be kind of nice. So giving a little bit of love, it helps. And I mean, I don't even know
real Lloyd and Faye.
Yeah, the real Lloyd. But, I mean, Mitama, it's like, I know a lot of people were really brigading to do, and even incentivize full brackets. So what I'm wondering is, where is she going to realistically place? Because honestly, and this is just me, I wonder if she'll, at least what I'm thinking, she'll get top 30 females, at the very least. I think that's realistic, but I don't fully know.
I think that either might be an overestimation, or maybe you might be completely right.
Because I remember the first time I kind of tried brigading, or at least when I first saw brigading for Soleil a few years back. I think it was when Quick first started popping off on Twitter and becoming, you know, Quick. God bless his soul. We got her into top 20 females, I think. Wait,
really?
It was top 20 or top 30. I think 25
I think it might have been top 30. I think it was
but
top 30.
you get the idea, though. You get the idea, though. Just all that brigading. So it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens with Mitama. But it's like...
Yeah, I hope so, because I wouldn't mind seeing Mitama in Faye.
When I first saw Mitama for the first time in my life, which was a long time ago, back before I knew anything really about face and that sort of stuff, I liked her design. I liked the starry eyes and all that sort of stuff. So it's like, and I mean... The haiku gimmick is kind of a little funny. I mean, Izama as father is... Do we even have to talk about that? Yeah. But you get the idea.
I'm not a big fan of Izama, but I'm a big fan of Mitama. Yeah. One of the better Fates kids.
Yeah. And it's just like, why not? It's like, we really didn't have too many stakes. And it's like, everybody else kind of already had everything out. So it's just like...
Yeah.
Everything's kind of just figured out. So really...
I don't mind using my second account's votes on...
Exactly. And I have my pride on the line just because I trust most normal people to just not do the whole Bernadetta thing and just keep up with what we had in the interims. And I think that would be the most neutral way of going about it. And then this CYL somehow go by completely unscathed, which is actually kind of funny. But
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll see on the results, but I think it's fine. But I actually kind of dig how Paul's really going for the Selfin first. Honestly, that's kind of funny, but I'm okay with either. Just the 4 of Seliph, Crom, Adult Tiki, Female Byleth. That's fine, honestly.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people agreed with that too. So, never know. We'll see.
All right.
So we'll see like all and all the easy stuff out of the way. Now it's time to get into the real meat and what our real picks are, because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't thought about stuff, but I know Paul has. So man, I already took the first slot, so do the honors.
I'm gonna pick the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Summoner's Duel rework. There needs to be some sort of
I think
change.
realistically, yeah. No, there is
I can list off a few things on one hand that
they need to balance the game badly. Like. They need to do something.
The maps.
I think they could. The
like,
reworking of maps is guaranteed, like they did with Air
There's
Raids.
2 good maps, and that's the Twin Rivers, and I think it's the desert one with a couple of trees and a couple of trenches.
I think I remember which one you're talking about, because that one did not impede any sort of like cavalry stuff. It was just like, just if you had a lot of movement, you just zoomed down. It's just like,
oh,
okay.
You're talking about bridges.
Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe I was thinking of the other one.
When you've got like a 2 range 3 move unit, if you just reposition, you've basically got the entire map.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 2 bridges, and I want that deleted from the game.
Yeah, no, because I know when you were talking about it, because literally after I had reached as the first duel, I'm at 1K originally, I literally just stopped playing the mode. I haven't even gotten to 1500 yet at all. I tapped out after that, and I haven't really seen what's gone on since. But I know for a fact, Paul, you've complained about that map. But even just overall, I think just some of the maps.
I've complained about the latest map as well. Well, the one before last reset, where it was that big rock in the middle.
The breakable wall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was in R as well.
Yeah. I was just like, that's... No.
Like, I think the game has been out, or at least the mode has been out for a fair while, to where they know what they need to do to at least tweak the maps. Because that's exactly what ended up happening with Aether Raids. Because that happened for a bit. So
I think
the maps changing is very easy.
They'll do something about Kanto.
I think that's also good too. They realize what sort of stuff is crazy about the gameplay, and I think they need to do something about 2. That's a little bit less likelier though, but I think the sentiment of, hey, we're probably going to change up some of these maps as well, just to make sure that the rotation isn't completely hot garbage, especially with how the meta is right now with the game. So
and granted, 2 weeks. 2 weeks per season for the map, rotation of maps. That's awful.
Yeah, and I think what they also need to do is, I guess, they've only done like 6 entire skills and that sort of thing, and I guess it's kind of just whatever. But
I don't mind
think
them adding them intermittently. I think they'll add more.
Yeah, no, it's just update. I don't want them doing like dumb stuff, because there's been at least like however many like weird ones. I think a lot of people were really complaining about quick draw in a way.
Yes. Quick draw, if your foe doesn't have it, you win. Which
is very true. But I feel like a lot of people would just still run it, though. A lot of people just still run it just for the mirror and that sort of stuff. Like, you feel like you're just throwing otherwise. It's not like the other ones are bad, but it's just like... but
you'd rather have quick draw to not be quick drawed.
Exactly, which seems really stupid.
Good.
It's really dumb,
The whole point of captain skills is to basically be able to work a strategy around it.
Exactly. You can't just work around. You can't just counter something by just doing the exact same thing to get 0 effect, you know?
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Basically,
I'd rather have something that actually changes the flow in a dumb way. Like how, what was it called? The Earth Rendering, right? The one that actually moved your thing?
Earth Rendering, I feel, fell off.
It probably did eventually.
Tactics came
in.
But
once everyone started doing the meta, yeah.
I'll quote Smogon, like from Pokemon.
Okay.
Quick draw, yes, it's got counters, but it's not because it's broken, it's because it's uncompetitive. Yeah. It's just not competitive. If you have to run it and the foe has to run it, it is not competitive.
Yeah, especially once it's like you're canceling it out, you're getting nothing out of it too. You have to basically kill the other leader to even get an effect, but that just feels really dumb. It really does. I'd rather have something that actually has an impact on the play that you can't really cancel, so you at least have to play into something. Like, I could understand playing into some dumb cheese strat with Earth rendering. It's like, whatever. At least you did something to where it's like, it's dumb, but at least
like,
it's not being some weird dull canceling out each other. It's just
I
like,
could also see them nerfing Adroit Captain and possibly removing the +6 speed.
I honestly felt like that was fine, honestly. As someone who was using that myself with my dual
And
that
I
has
used
done
it with
more
Dimitri.
good than me for a long... That has been good for me for so much, because having to run dodge and not having a lot else to really do with my weapon, especially since dual has generally just fallen off for a while and it's just been pain for me. Having null follow-up as well as the extra speed to deal with dumb speed cap units compared to, like, from what are today, that thing helped out so much that it became just a necessity, because he's been lacking that so much. And it's just like, I don't think that was broken, honestly. I really don't. Maybe I'm getting a little hard copium on it.
There's some real strong strats you can do with it.
Okay.
But, like, I mean, I showed you my ketamine Dimitri.
Yes, I remember your ketamine. Oh, God.
There was very little that other people could do, and I could rush down to the other side of the map.
Yeah, because you were even using Odd Tempest with that, right?
Odd Tempest, bonus doubler, dance.
Yeah, which at least is
smart
like...
strats.
It's original, though, and it's a pretty, like, interesting strat to at least run instead of running, you know, just the unfun meta that's been everything else. That's at least fair, and that's why I'd rather go up against people that are actually playing the game to have fun, not just meta slave the entire time. Like, I've complained about that time and time again, because that's something I genuinely care about with competitive modes in these sort of games, you know? And it's like, it's really weird to talk about since it's a goddamn gacha, and not like an actual like competitive shooter or whatever. Me having a background in Overwatch and like a bunch of other stuff.
It is the nature of gacha.
Yeah, which is just insane, but at least there's a way to at least make things kind of work, you know, and that's just not it. And especially because people are obviously going to do whatever they want to do to win, but it's like, there's no stakes to it at all. R just made things kind of worse, because it's like, you don't really need that. You can have the no stakes of regular bit. Yeah, it's just like, because I just want to get that over with. I didn't do it until the last day, and I mulled. I literally mulled tweeted just because it's so annoying. But that's down to I am making a dumb decision, making it a thing. Like, why?
Like, the whole thing where if you lose 4 times, that's it. You need to make it so you get a daily refresh, like in Arena.
Yeah, like that's fine too.
Daily crests.
If anything, I guess. I don't want to have to grind out a separate mode that also takes out Arena, so that also makes no sense either, honestly.
I disagree with that as well, and I think they might address that.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I don't really see the point with the R stuff, but you can put in like the stuff like with the bonus, like legendary or mythic, and that be okay. Put that in the regular, and I think that would be okay, realistically. Yeah. And then just, I don't know, just... I don't like the glory thing either, so it's like that never needed to be a thing either, because now you actually have something to lose from that, and it's like, no, why would you do anything like that? Like, just have the regular favor. You literally have, you get nothing to lose by just playing out the game. I mean, if you know you're not going to get 0 favor because you won't like kill an enemy because your opponent's being a little, you know, sussy baka, then sure, surrender. But if you have points, you're better off just playing through it than just surrendering and taking a 0. Like, seriously. So it's just like, there's nothing to worry about losing there. It's just like, there's no point. You're not actually losing anything like you would like Glory and how it says like you have the minus rating. It's like, everyone's just grinding it for the reward. So it's like, just play it out for the points, literally.
I think they said that only 3,000 people actually reached Tier 4. 3,000 people. 3,000 people.
Because I ended up in Tier 3.
So little.
Exactly, because nobody has the incentive to play it.
Punishing mode.
Exactly, because people are just going to literally just cheese that to win, just to like just get people out of this. It's like, well, even not just that, but just not enjoyable. Because at that point, it's just like, it's actually going to tilt you to the point where you just aren't thinking you're just going to lose it all. Because that's what happened to me. Because I just couldn't be bothered. Like, it's just...
Yeah.
No.
With me, I had one try left, and I was just like, I'm not even going to bother.
Yeah, like, I
just gave up. I gave up completely.
It was just futile at that point. At least you had gotten tier 3, you at least had something, but besides, it's like, what's the point? Literally, just stick to the regular mode. Literally, I don't see why R had to be a thing, especially when you already have so many limited time modes in that tab. It's just like, why add on another to an arena mode? It's like, what?
Make it more accessible. Don't like,
yeah.
Aether Raids is just enough balance about. I literally tweeted Future Vision. Well, I wasn't tweeted. I messaged her, and I literally said that some of the duels makes me want to apologize to Aether Raids.
I actually kind of see that, but it's like, I don't know. It's just like I have a really weird thought process because like everything just feels like it has. Like I was saying earlier, just, you know, it's a bunch of, like, what is the most tolerable shit, you know? Because it's just like, Arena, you have a bunch of just whales just trying to stack up a bunch of weird stuff. Even stuff that doesn't even make sense, but they'll still do it anyway. Aether Raids is just making it so that you literally cannot play offense, period, because people are just going to stack their defenses. And Summoner Duels is just making people mauled in real time against a real person. Because of like Aether Raids types of defense strats, you know? It's just like, it doesn't feel that good. Especially when it's like, there's just been all these sort of like weird meta shifts that just make it feel like the game is in a way unplayable. Because everybody just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just coming at this with the perspective of just wanting to use units that I want to. Which is a nice idea to have in mind. But when you have people that are just trying to do all this stuff to sweat and make things unfun, it's just like,
I think that's fine to want to do, and I think many fans of the series do want to do that.
Yeah, but within the past year, it's become that point where you literally can't do that anymore, and that's the frustrating part. And I've just hated that. Yeah, they've made some steps making it a little easier, but it doesn't feel like it's really like shifted away from that. It just feels like it's just the same of just, you can't just rely on using your favorites or just actually use them. You have to honestly just dip your toes and just step in some dog poop. Literally, it's just like, there's nothing about that. Like, it's inevitable. You're not going to go your whole life without stepping in something. So it's like, I don't know. It's just, it's a lot. I don't know. I feel like I've been actually a little bit unironically just burnt out with just all of it recently, which is why I've been trying to at least do some other stuff. I mean, you know what I've been trying to mess around with lately. Another mobile game with an actual furry waifu. But I don't know. It feels nice being able to take a little bit of, at least, I wouldn't say a break, just keeping my focus not solely on Feh. Just because it's just that much of a headache. At least.
And that's perfectly fine. Like with me, it's Dragalia Lost. I feel that they've made leaps and bounds in modes that keep my attention, that are fun to play.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I'm playing another side games gacha that, again, has a furry wife, but also it's a little different, honestly. I've been playing, everybody here has been playing Feh for a good while, so at least having a different change of pace just kind of helps, honestly. I didn't really get that change of pace with Pikmin Bloom because that means you have to actually go out and walk and that sort of stuff. But now that I'm playing a little bit of World Flipper, it's kind of just been a little refreshing, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really change. Like, I'm not going to go back to Feh and be like, oh, everything's so much better now. It's just like the same thing with like Overwatch in a way, where no matter if you take a break and come back, it's still the same thing. It's just
it's still Overwatch, yeah.
Exactly. And it's just like, and the fact that I'm dealing with both of those right now, huge copium, it's just like, it is not a fun time to be me right now when it comes to gaming, unless I somehow want to play some other stuff like Dead by Daylight or Valorant, but you know, can't really play that because I can't stream those games, but that's not the point. But yeah, enough about our whole ramblings about just the game being dog water. Okay. I really just haven't given it too much thought here. So I think if anything, like, I don't really know where to go to next, I feel. So I think I might just try to take, I don't know. Maybe for this one, I think I want to just go ahead and just do a dumb sort of pick, but one that I think is fine. I'm going to do a prediction for the Valentine's banner, because that's going to get shown off, guaranteed.
That was something I was going to bring up as well, because I've got a prediction
do we think it'll
well.
be? Really? Okay, so let's do our... well, I'd rather have our consensus be the final spot here. But we can talk about it.
What game? What game we'll start with?
Yeah. Well,
100% it's going to be Dead Dad's banner or Dead Parents.
That's the whole sort of sentiment with that.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, because you still have a bunch of things to go with. You've always been the one that's been on there, the copium of wanting a Black Fangs banner surrounded around Brendan Reed, which I mean would be really funny and honestly kind of cool. I know you would, just as a Black Fangs person. Honestly, like, because you already have like the stuff with the pro tags and dead dads. Like, yeah, but at least this feels a little different, you know, in a good way. And it's just like it's a little refreshing. It's a little different take, and I feel like that's something that IS should want to do. Take some risk, even if it doesn't make a lot of money. At least you're giving some love to some of these beloved characters that, honestly, I mean, look at Lloyd from Gen 1. He's been kind of shafted. Paul's been making him work since however long, and it's like, it's just not enough, but at least
still not enough.
You know? Exactly. And I mean, people wouldn't mind having Brendan in the game, at least, finally. And you can do some other weird stuff there, too. It's like, sure. But then
make him PRF-less if needs be.
Just do something, you know? And I mean, even with the last one, because it was introducing save skills, and God forbid, dual lift, one of my 2 molds from last year. It's just like, I didn't want to talk about it. But, I mean, realistically, do you think they'll do Geralt's? Because a lot of people thought that would happen last year. But then you got Heroes. This year?
I don't know if they'll do Geralt, actually. I
really, the thing
so
is,
we're on a agreement that it's probably 3 houses then.
I don't have the eggs in all that basket. But it's
because
more...
I think this is the year that we're gonna get alts, like seasonal alts of the house leaders.
I think so, but I don't think it will be this banner. But I think the whole thing with the whole 3 houses getting a bunch of seasonals, it's like, it's a lot. But I personally, I just want to see Geralt. That's just why I want a Geralt Valentine's banner at any point. I would just like to have Geralt, because I mean, we didn't get him playable in 3 houses because IS decided not to. But it's like, why not? A lot of people even just still like Geralt. Like, real life people, not, you know. But so you get the idea.
With my idea for this banner, I think it's going to be Dimitri and Lambert.
Oh, I remember that, actually. I mean, honestly,
I remember saying it.
Funny.
And
I think that would be cool, too.
I think that might be the way they go. Because the whole theme of... the banner is sort of being able to speak with the person about sort of like things left unsaid, like promises.
And it would be nice to get that sort of thing out of Byleth, but I mean, you don't really get that out of Byleth. Well, you do get it out of Dimitri, especially if it was like, say, time skip Dimitri, and it's like Lambert seeing how mad Dimitri has kind of become, or at least the whole path there. Like, if Lambert was to have an interaction with CYL Dimitri, I think that would be a very interesting conversation. Just like how he had that interesting conversation with Lif when he first came out. Because that was really interesting to see. So, seeing something like that would be cool. And this might also be some really weird copium take, but you saw at the beginning of the CYL voting that Chris Hackney was saying, hey, you should vote for Lambert. What if that was like a really dumb way of him subtly breaking NDA, but not actually, but saying, hey, what if, you know, Lambert might be coming in the future, not through COL, but like maybe this next banner, you know, that would be funny. But it's like, you know, that's just reaching for something that really isn't there, but it would be funny.
I would love to see Dimitri and Lambert, even if they're not the duo, like just
didn't even need to be a duo because we already had a duo actually, so it would be hard.
Make Byleth and Geralt the duo, or
another one that actually just popped in my head because I was trying to immediately think of other games that could maybe like work. For example, what about Sumeragi with any of his children? Because we don't even really get to see Sumeragi, but I think that would be kind of
Sumeragi that would be a very, very hard one to do.
It would be, especially because it's like you don't have a lot working off of him, but it's like that's an idea that could technically work in a way, you know? It's just like there's so many weird things you could do with the whole dead dad thing, but it's like
with that you would have to have another Corrin ult. There's no way that you would have Sumeragi and not have Corrin on the banner.
The thing is, Sumeragi Corrin doesn't really feel that connected in a way, at least to me, because I never really played Merchant, but
however, Sumeragi died over protecting Corrin.
The thing is, it would also have to be Milcorn as well. It would have to be Kim Clark doing it, because that's basically the Hoshiden Corrin, you know? And we technically already got both of them not even a few months ago, so it's just like...
And
I mean, I wouldn't hate to see the Milcorn either, but it's just like... I don't know, it just feels like it would make more sense that if we were getting like Sumeragi, you had someone like Ryoma, or maybe even Takumi, just going over their sort of stuff and how they've felt since his death, and you know, just because they're two very interesting characters, more so the latter because Takumi, I mean, duh, but it's like you get the sort of idea.
Takumi even gets Sumeragi's armor if he reclasses to Swordmaster. Well,
does he actually?
Yes, he does, which is kind of cool.
That's actually kind of cool. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, that's the whole thing with the whole dead side stuff. You can get literally whatever you want out of that, and I mean,
and if
I never would have expected having.
If Lambert does, I might have to pull for him. I'd have to break into my Mia stash again.
And take it from me, who technically did get myself a Valentine's banner. I never actually would have expected the day that we would have had Rudolph. I really didn't, or just, you know, the interaction with Alma as well. It's like that banner is like chef's kiss, and I can't wait for the day that both of those units actually get refines, because I would really like to try to use Rudolph, because he seems really fun, even if he's off meta. It's like whatever, and I mean, my dual kind of needs a refine right now.
Like that's wary fighter and a weapon. Like
it's just like. It's just a lot of like weird stuff from that banner, even if it's been kind of just off meta. It's just, it's a guilty pleasure of mine, honestly. And not even like the new Echoes banner did that for me. I mean, yeah, we got Zeke and Tatiana, who I've wanted in the game for a long time, but they didn't really feel meta impactful. It was really only Pal, which I don't even have yet. So it's just like, of course, I still feel a little bit more akin to the old one. So it's just like, yeah, it's a lot. But I think. Do you think that that the Lambert Dimitri thing, is that our prediction? Because it's an outlandish one, but I think I want to go with it.
I think it's a possibility that we would get Geralt, Byleth, and Lambert and Dimitri.
I don't think they'll do two dad combos and that, but it would be kind of cool. I'll just put 3 houses just straight up.
Just 3 houses. It's gonna be 3 houses this year.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Because at least it's not, you know, just a bunch of students and that sort of stuff. And it might not be the House Lords, maybe a little bit, because, I mean, the whole weird...
But I think it's I think it's the year of 3 Houses Lords getting ults.
Yes, just not on this banner, at least predominantly. This is going to focus on, well, I mean, if it is Lambert, then obviously Dimitri, but I think they'll be, like, spread out, if anything. But it's like... I don't know.
It's the one that makes the most sense if Dimitri was going to get a seasonal ult.
Exactly. And I think just if I really wanted to say like one more possible copium, since everyone's still hoping that maybe they'll announce the FE4 remake. What if they did Sigurd and Byron? That would be kind of funny. It would never happen, but I mean, that'd be kind of funny. Maybe eventually down the road, but like not
Maybe
now,
we'll
no.
see it. Maybe we'll see it.
Maybe. I don't know. But I think
Who knows?
3 houses is fine, honestly. I'm okay with it. You're okay with it. A lot of people are kind of droughted out by it, but at least it's not going to feel like it's completely just down and out. You're at least getting an interesting character, whether it be Gerald or Lambert, you know? It seems like it's kind of a win-win, even if you're getting Byleth and or Dimitri. It's like, whatever. Why not? If you want a duo unit, they can be the backpack too. I mean, yeah, it won't really sell, but at least it won't be them as a main unit, you know? And I think it'll be fine. I mean, then again, Byleth would probably be the main unit, actually. I don't know, because he was already a backpack. But it's like, you know, whatever. That's
Byleth has been a main unit and a backpack. I think Byleth will be a standalone.
Yeah, that would make more sense. Whereas Dimitri can kind of be whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So,
okay. What do you think?
Next one. Well, we kind of know that we're going to get ephemera free.
Yes.
We're gonna get normal free on the ephemera.
What do you want to do? Predictions for who's going to be in there?
Predictions on top skills.
On top skills. I'm willing to bet that you probably came up with a list on that sort of thing. Honestly.
Nope. This is going to be all off the top of the head.
Okay. That's fine. Honestly, I mean, the one that immediately came to mind, just straight up, actually, Flow Refresh. I think that would be close to the top. Honestly, at least 1,600 at the very least. If not 2,000.
Refresh. I know Sheeta's got it. Who's got the second one? I think that's Ota.
Yes, but I'm saying it'll probably be Sheeta, is what I'm saying. I don't think they'll shy away from doing a harmonic, because they're not going to do a mythic. That's why I didn't say Flow Guard. Because that would be cool, but there's no way they're giving us a Divine Codes for Thor. Exactly. It's like, that makes no sense. But
yeah,
I think that would make sense.
Yeah. Top skills, lethality is going to be on there.
Yeah, no, I think that is pretty safe to say. I keep forgetting that Shinon was actually in Divine Codes too, because I grabbed that very early on and didn't even use him for that. But, I mean, what if they did? What if they did Ninja Shinon then? Would that work? Wait, he doesn't even have it. Wait, no, he does. No, he does. Yeah, no, he does.
He does.
Okay, well, you can do that again. Why not?
Like, I can definitely say there's going to be some damage reduction specials and a Kanto.
There's going to be a trace on there. 1,000%.
There's going to be two. There's going to be two traces. One far, one there.
I think that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's weird because I'm trying to think of all this other stuff too, but I can't really think too much. I think an ideal 4 will be there for sure. Maybe even a catch. Actually, I'm willing to bet that one of the units actually will be Farina, which will work for me because I would like a merge, and she's got really nothing else.
Just as a normal unit on there. Yes, I agree.
Otherwise, I mean, she has reposition, she has attack and speed snag, but then attack and speed catch 4. All that combination, it's not bad. It's going to be that honestly feels like a 1,200 or 1,600.
1,200, 1,600. Yeah.
And that would be fine because
catch is popular at the moment. Catch is very popular.
It's one of the better things that you can get for like a flyer and or cavalry. It doesn't feel too bad, and it's all that she's giving anyway. So it's like
So and I wouldn't even be an ideal and a catch, definitely.
Yes. As for who the ideal will be, who even knows at this point? I know it's not going to be Fatal. That much is very obvious.
It will definitely be Louise. Attack speed ideal.
True, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, and then you also have the Ryan bow that you can get off, even though we kind of already literally just had that from this last one.
We already had that on there, which
but that's
makes
not what
it
it's
more
for.
Likely.
Yeah, but then you've also got... What else did she have? Didn't she also have attack speed 03?
That's correct, yes.
And then whatever else, I think her B.
Basically, they'll make certain skills. I think attack defense catch is definitely going to be on the lower one.
Like 3 or 4.
That'll be a Zeke.
If they want to give me a free Zeke vault or a free Zeke merge, I wouldn't mind it. But you have to think that's also defense res menace.
Res menace, which will probably be 1,600 or 2,000.
Yeah, because honestly, if I had to be honest, I mean, unless they wanted to do Valentia and Paula for the DC, and doesn't she also have like guard bearing in that?
She doesn't have DC. She doesn't have DC.
Oh yeah, because it's in the weapon. Oh yeah, I forgot.
No, it's not in the weapon.
Wait. Oh wait. Oh yeah, I keep
No,
forgetting.
she's got our flying jewel.
Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. I keep forgetting because
they won't put Pala on there.
I honestly got confused because I keep thinking of Paula's. I always see them with DC, so it's like I tripped out with that, but that's okay. Then never mind with that one. So yeah, I think he would possibly be the 2000. Honestly, if you're getting the catch and or the menace. Actually, I mean you can't really get both yet, but it's like
yeah, you can.
Wait, can you?
Yes.
Oh yeah, huh?
Sedga.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because I was thinking, no, they're not doing defense, the threatened defense res, but I forgot Sedgar, yeah, with attack defense.
Yeah, Sedgar has catch, so you just need threatened defense.
Yeah, so technically you can't get both. And honestly, I don't think there's really anybody else you would have in the 2000 slot for echoes, or even just splitting it. It really, I don't see that sort of thing.
But
whether you're splitting with
see them putting Zeke.
Like, no.
Like, there's going to be a menace somewhere on there.
And I think that's a safe pick, because it's like, it's not the best, it's not the worst, it's okay, and at least it's a menace that you can get. Because really, there's like nothing else that you can really do with echoes, even with splitting it with however much. I mean, you only have like this last banner, or maybe even give somebody from the Valentine's banner too. I mean, that could happen, but it's like, what are you really giving there, you know? But you get the idea. Zeke is probably going to be on there 1000%. With menace mainly,
for the menace, but attack defense menace, attack defense catch will be on there as well.
Yeah, so. And I mean they've released all those skills for a reason, so of course they're going to make it so that other stuff can be later on accessible, especially through defined codes.
Because I think attack speed catch has just been the third one released on Lyre. That's right, isn't it? Lyre got attack speed catch free on the 4-star slot.
I honestly don't remember, so I can't even comment, but I think you might be right.
So I think we're going to get attack defense catch and attack speed catch.
Yeah, in 2 different spots, but the main thing to note is that it's mainly about the menace for Zeke, not necessarily the catch, but you can get both, which is perfect prime for 2000. So we got the menaces, we got the catches, we got the ideals. Near trace and far trace, not exactly who, but that's not the point. And then floor refresh. Is there anything that we could maybe be missing?
Like I've already said,
something.
We're probably going to get some damage reduction, so some dodge skills.
Well, yeah. I mean, that doesn't feel, because we had however much of it, because we had Marita at one point. We had I can't think Milchris with DC and Spurn. So it's like. You might see some of those drop down, honestly.
It's joint drive attack and burn.
Oh yeah, my bad. But yeah, that's still a thing. What was it? Because there was something else I was actually thinking about. Maybe for like, well, actually, no, never mind. Because, I was thinking maybe for a moment Time's Pulse, but then I realized that's also going to be on Volk with lethality. So that is guaranteed 2000. I mean, everyone kind of figures that one. Which is a little funny, but it's like, I can't think of anything else. For
the Compile 2, I've already seen here, Byleth with DC was 2000. So I think if we're having DC on the Ephemera, it will be on 2000.
This is pretty ridiculous.
Same with Close Foil.
Or, what do you think about the idea of what if they give either Brave Marth or Gatekeeper to get either Distant Pressure or...
unlikely.
Close reversal.
I feel that's still way too recent.
Possibly. I think if anything is more likely, it'll be Gatekeeper because of that close counter. I don't think they'll do Distant Pressure at all, honestly. And I mean, the only other DC tier 4 there is on Feh.
That's way too good. You'd need another tier for that one. You'd need, that's God tier fodder.
Exactly. So because Feh would have technically that Distant Pressure and then also has a menace, right? So it's like, and then Dragon Wall. So yeah, no, God no. Well, obviously not, but you get the idea. Like they're not gonna do any of those, but if anything, it would be Gatekeeper with whatever he's got in 2000, which is fine.
I see them also putting Fatal on the
I really don't think they would put Fatal on it though, just because it's like one is a perf skill,
No.
and then you've got attack, defense, ideal 4, and armored stride. Wait, no.
That's it.
Wait.
That's it.
I don't see it though with the
Armored
perf.
stride.
I really don't.
Maybe I armored stride.
It is only on
That'll
Edelgard,
be
so I guess it could
16.
happen.
That'll be a 16. That'll be a 1600.
Maybe.
Because the fodder's not great. Like your attack defense ideal is very, very meh.
Yeah.
Ideals, you want to remain at 100% HP.
Yeah.
Not many others can use attack defense ideal properly.
The weird thing is, it's like, well, because she only uses it because of the bonus part of it, though, which she always gets from the free movement. But it's weird because it just feels like that's just going to be a free fatal merge more than anything.
And
why? Why? Just like, I don't know. I don't know.
It is what it is.
Maybe I can't complain. Yeah, it's a lot. What?
But yeah.
But yeah, I honestly I can't think of anything else for the most part for that, unless you can.
No, I think we've gone over basically everything that would probably be in, and then there'll be a smattering of seasonal units
here
with
and there,
inheritable weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Like very value for money.
You know what? Actually, I think
would.
You know what I think actually would be a 2000, who I think will be the 2000 for Fates. New Year's Valoria. DC and null follow-up.
Copium.
No,
copium.
I'm being realistic. DC and null follow-up honestly isn't too bad to have as your 2000.
Oh yeah. No,
honestly,
I agree.
That's a pretty reasonable and tame pick for that too. So
with
it's just like
bit of hopium.
I don't need the hopium. I have my +10 Valoria. It doesn't matter.
Did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought I showed you. No, I tweeted it. I tweeted on. No, it was like a week or two ago, at least from recording this, that I got the +10. So yeah, I broke it. Luckily, I haven't really done too much with it, obviously, but that's the whole whatever. A whole year after she came out, I finally got +10, but that's not why I'm talking about it here. It's just because null follow-up in DC is a pretty nice combo to have, honestly, for skill inheritance. So putting that on Divine Codes, 2000 for Fates, and as your reasonable DC pick, I don't see what can go wrong with that, honestly. I think that's tame. That's fine.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
Have you got a idea for the next one?
It's weird because I can't think of a lot of sort of things, but it's like, it's weird because I don't want to do anything like tame, because I don't want to just cop out and say anything weird like
well,
like
we can go for
or whatever.
I'll list an easy one.
Okay.
There's going to be a summoning event where
they're not going to do a hero fest though, are they? No way. I don't think so.
They could do, but I'm more talking about the whole heroes with banner revivals, the daily ones.
Yeah, those. Yeah,
I can sense
that's
that
guaranteed.
One.
I think that is going to definitely happen, because it's not like we're going to predict anything like the Grand Hero Battle Revivals, because those are, I'm pretty sure those are literally already in the data mine.
That's already mined, and I did write
so
that
it's like
just in case.
Point. Yeah, but it's like, yeah, I mean, you would probably have them. I don't know what up to though. It would happen though, but we can. I'll put that down.
I'm pretty sure it starts at Linus. If we're talking about the rotation stuff.
Oh wait! Oh yeah, the rotation stuff. Oh well. Oh yeah, that's what I completely forgot. No. Oh, yeah.
Or are you talking about the revivals? Not
the revival banners.
Oh.
Yeah, the revival banners.
So the heroes with heroes with Luna, with Spurn. Yeah, so they'll revive those each day.
Yeah, I just wonder up to what point they're gonna do that for, like what threshold, you know?
They usually make it 10 days, I believe.
No. I mean like which ones it's going to actually cycle through, you know? Because usually those are I don't know, like obviously the daily ones, but they go to a certain time period, you know? It's I don't remember what the last because the last one they had it for summer. I don't remember what they last stopped at, but they'll probably start at the one that was cut off from there and then go on to whatever.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the seasonal free pick?
No, no. That's like a completely different thing. Like you know, like still the heroes with banners, like the skills, because we had those daily pulls as well. From
I think
like,
for the
summer
most part,
anniversary.
we're not too
I don't
worried
know.
with what's being on there, but it's the
Yeah.
fact it's just loads of free pulls.
Yeah, which is honestly fine. I mean, there's always a chance to get something out of it. Which
5-star.
yeah, exactly. No, you know what's actually kind of funny is that I can't remember which, it was one of the banners free pulling. I can't remember which one exactly. But I ended up free pulling a Nyx, and that wasn't on the banner that she focused on, which is kind of funny. It was literally a day or two
I
before.
recently did that as well, and Mia ate very well that day.
Yeah, luckily. I don't even know who to give that next to, honestly. I couldn't say I know anybody who really wants that stuff, but
Yeah.
whatever. But you get the idea. That stuff's good.
So
yeah. This is weird because I'm really struggling to like really think of stuff, because it's like I can
think of
honestly
a
say that
really outlandish, like, quality of life thing you would actually like.
all right, fine, I'm gonna do it then, because I know this is already gonna be a little screwed over, so I'm going with the, you're gonna have to put something realistic in the diag, because we're now going into second row. You're going up next with the second one. That's going to be diagonal to final print, so it better be something good. I'm putting something outlandish here. Refines. I want it, okay? It's simple as that. I remember, because last year I went through this whole document trying to refine every single weapon that got a refine up to book 4. And I never released that because I'm an idiot and can't edit, even though I had it all figured out. And to be fair, eventually it took points where it's like, maybe I want to go back and try it again, but it's like, whatever. But the whole thing is like, there's a lot of units that have really shit refines and could honestly use a little bit of help. Not gonna lie. I mean, it's like, it's weird that you can look back and just see someone like Raven have just the regular Basilicos with the life and death and just slaying. And I mean, I was okay with like buffing him a little bit with Linus, but this was also before Fang Basilicos. So even with Raven's Resplendent, he's still inferior. He's stuck with the worst Basilicos. So it's just like, and there's a bunch of other units that
feel bad
have
for
this issue
Raven
too.
Fans with that one.
And there's a lot of just other units that have just really outdated refines. My whole main example that I was going to have in my intro was that you look at someone like Hawkeye, whose refine effect was just lull attack defense 3. But now you have Finn with the triple sort of lull. Even though he only has like a lull for 2 actual stats, like it actually applies like that, but he has I think the debuff in 3 stats. Like his attack, speed, defense, but then his the lull is only on 2 of those. But you get the point.
Yeah,
it's straight up power creep and then some. So it's like, there's got to be something, especially when it's like another useless refine. I can't think of the name. Just Alphonse's weapon. Nobody wants TA right now, especially as like a base sort of like refine. That's so bad, honestly. Anybody with that, so like Seth and Titania, sorry, along with Alphonse, like it's so bad. What I wanted to do was like, at least if you really wanted to use their TA refines, was maybe like make the discrepancy a little better. Like you have more effectiveness against your weapon triangle advantage, but still be extra disadvantageous, but not as much as regular TA right now. It's just something to at least make it, worth using, because it's like all of those units, like Alphonse you can still work with, but like Seth and Titania, like you'd rather just run like an inheritable. Like you could probably just run deck swap around Titania and be fine.
Another refine that I would love to see redone is Lloyd's Regal Blade. I know we touched upon that.
Lloyd. Your number one bias, but it's literally true. That's just straight up dog, literally.
Yeah. Plus 3 tool stats just to, if you're within 2 spaces of an infantry magic user. Infantry magic user. That's it.
Really going off on the lore bits, exactly. Like anybody who has something like
okay,
it does suck.
It's fitting. It's fitting because you'd want to run an Eno with them sometimes.
But then you have people who are getting like +5 to all stats in the weapons
by just existing.
Exactly. It's just like, How is Lloyd supposed to compete with that, especially with his stats? As a GHB unit too, so you're probably not going to get a Resplendent either. So all you have to depend on are Dragonflowers and whatever inheritable weapon you can get. This man has literally been suffering. Literally.
I need Lloyd to just to be Lloyd.
Exactly. You need to praise the Lloyd, but nobody can praise the Lloyd when there's nothing to be praised unless he were to get an alt. So at least give somebody
alt Resplendent.
Help.
Just throw me a bone here.
This is real copium. Unless you're wanting to talk about Tile with the whole Mitama stuff, which is true, but like still, everyone's under a little bit of copium, and I think just a little something, at least like one re-refine, or at least just something, or just give us a lot more refines in general. Just give us more besides the usual cycle. We're gonna have to go through a lot of seasonals, especially once we get to like banners where we have more than one seasonal perf. Because of, you know, duels and harmonics having those and not taking up the one per slot, you know? Like there's others with that too. Like for example, again, the because eventually down the road, probably like next year or like end of this year, we might get like, you know, like the Valentine's Valentia banner, and you've got 2 perks on there, Dual and Rudolph. So it's just like, how exactly are you like, because it's like you're not going to do them both at once unless you actually choose to, but at the rate that it's going to be 1 and then 1 and then 1 and then 1. It's just like they can't really keep up with that, especially with the introduction once they finally get to Duel
We're
Hector.
due a winter Ephraim refine this update as well.
That is true. Yeah, I completely forgot that one was literally confirmed to happen.
Yeah.
So that's something
which I'm interested about, because I did actually former winter Ephraim.
Yeah, I completely forgot. But it's like it's weird because it's like you've got Festive Sigmund getting something now when it's like not even a few months ago you had Flame Sigmund go to even regular Ephraim too, which is kind of funny because I'd also given a refine to regular Sigmund.
Honestly,
it was like
the only Gen 1 unit. Wow, the only Gen 1 unit with a perf that's actually aged well is Ephraim. Like, just
because he had the weapon evolution. Exactly.
Yeah.
And anybody is peeking
and Selef.
Yeah, but also like even just like look at Eliwood too. He piggybacked off of Brave Roy, and now he's in just obscurity.
He stole his weapon back. Like,
exactly. It's anybody who's easily accessible like that. It's just like they're going to steal it. Literally.
Yeah, Selef, Eliwood, Ephraim.
Not as much, but still the point.
Even Eldigan.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
Eldigan, I would actually argue, uses.
He has the stats to make it work. It's just that Ares is a little bit more accessible.
It's a bit more accessible, but he's also got Resplendent.
That too, exactly. So it's like that.
With some
that's how it. That's
god tier art as well.
It's crazy, honestly. I'm telling you, that artist. I keep forgetting like their name off the top of my head.
Rika Suzuki. Suzuka.
Yes. If they aren't doing the art for the FE4 remake, I think everybody's gonna lose their shit. Because that should happen.
It's got to be. She's only done FE4. Has done FE5 as well?
I don't think they did any FE5 art. It's just
They did. Ishtar.
I mean, technically, yes.
That's Thracia.
But no, she was technically grouped into genealogy, though.
No, she's Thracia.
That Ishtar is FE4. The only Thracia one is Dancer. I know that for a fact.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
But it's still, you get the idea. But it's like, I wouldn't mind that still either way, though. But, I mean.
Yeah.
It's either going to be them or Homer.
Yeah. It is criminal that Homer has not had another unit.
But it's fine because Homer's gotten 2 Cypher cards. One is Saros, and good God, they're so good, actually.
There's Kagero as well.
Yeah, it's like...
Kagero is like, oh, gorgeous art.
Yeah, it's like, why not?
So,
just, you know, it's okay. Just hire people who drop porn, and, you know, rather that than NFTs. So. Yes. No hate to the actual art itself, but, you know. Okay, give something that's reasonable, okay? So that we can get
Reasonable, okay.
Reasonable, something that's probably going to happen so that we can get a bingo by going diagonal left.
I think something reasonable. I said it last year. An item for mergers.
Maybe.
Okay.
I would like it.
Last year, we got trait fruits.
We did, yes. And then we also got florets
But we also
as well.
got florets.
Yes.
I think this year, we are going to get an item that we finally can use to get merges.
I just don't know if it's going to be here, though, because we're already pretty soon into florets. And it's just like, I don't know if the merge item would happen now, but I do think it could reasonably be this year. It's more reasonable this year than it was last year. I think that is just a guaranteed fact. Just based on how much
there's been more and more accessibility to getting units and being able to customize and say, okay, I haven't got this set of IVs for it. Here's an item to change that. Here's an item to get a free unit from Former Souls. Here's an item to add another asset to this unit.
Yeah.
And I think it's honestly reasonable to actually say, even if it's not in this one, but I do think this year we are going to get an item that
you know how I think they could actually do this reasonably. And luckily, it's been sort of, in a way, introduced thanks to the 6.0 update. Because partially due in part to Summoner Duels, but also just other stuff too. What if this merge item specifically works for units that are Book 3 and before? So that you have something to more easily merge up older units, like 4-star specials, or even older seasonal units. I think that would make more sense, especially to help them get even further up. I mean, I'm just going to use it all on Brave Alm, but that's not the point. It's like, let's say, for example, you've got somebody that is like a Gen 1, like regular unit that you're really getting through like 4-star specials, and you don't want to have to keep waiting for their weekly revival and that sort of stuff. Like for you,
like Mia, or
exactly,
Ephraim.
For Mia, or even for me, like Delthea, Celica, or even Sonic E, and just like however much. Like you probably have a unit or two that is 4-star special that you keep randomly getting. That it would be nice to kind of like merge up like fully. Like even like I'm trying to think, like a few days ago as well, I did actually do another free summon, and I got my 5th Kana to make her +4. So like that's another example. Like you're going to keep getting these random units that it's like you kind of just merge up. Even like how you were doing Makai at one point, how you somehow miraculously got that +10, but it's like if you get a merge item for that stuff.
I literally got her to +10 without even trying. Like
exactly. But I mean, not everybody's going to get that, obviously, but you can now actually get a unit to +10 with this sort of thing to benefit these older units.
I think what you're saying there is a good way to balance it. It stops people from hoarding them for like new units.
Exactly, which is way too crazy too. It's like, yeah, it might help against the whales, but that's not the point. At that point, the whales are going to have even more to work with then too. So it's like,
at least sort of like let the old units get a chance.
Yes, and also this works to the seasonal benefits because honestly, the biggest mistake with the whole the Feh Pass seasonal spark is that it's not on rerun banners. Like seriously.
Yeah.
So if you were to do this merge item for these older seasonal units, now you don't need a spark for that. You have this item that you can use instead, which works out fine. Now you don't have to wait once a year for their reruns to have to actually pull.
Been interested.
You can now steadily get merges for them.
Yeah, I've been really interested in trying to merge up Summer Tiki, but I could not warrant like saving up and spending on the actual banner when it's absolute hot.
It's not worth it at all. Like, who's gonna pull on a banner just for like a mediocre unit with the only thing that's not mediocre about them is a rack size? Literally, it's like, just give everybody a way to merge up older units, and by doing a merge item that affects anybody that's book 3 and before, I think it's an okay way of doing it. That's a reasonable way of balancing it, and that makes it in a way more reasonable to do now.
I think they put an emphasis on in some of the duels for units book 3 and before.
Yeah, that and also because they did also release the that one thing. The filter with the book stuff too. So it's like it kind of makes sense. It's like you have the groundwork lightly there, and they could honestly, even if they don't do it now, I think reasonably, if they do a merge item, it will be with those restrictions. I think that is perfectly fine. Even if anything, you can even do book 4 and before. Because God forbid, there's some book 4 units that are still getting screwed over. But that's not the... You get the point. You get the point.
Yeah.
Simple as that. But...
Yeah, but
you're making me really hope that it happens, even though I really don't think it'll happen. I want it
probably so won't, but it's a reasonable prediction.
Mm-hmm. Reasonable prediction. Might not get us a bingo. I would hope it would, but...
Yeah. So are you gonna give us an unreasonable prediction then?
No, I'm gonna go with something incredibly tame, but something that feels like a very classic IS move. New game mode. ZZZ. I don't know what it'll be, but I mean, they're gonna do something that's weird. Honestly, if they don't do it's something.
I'll interject and say I don't think they'll do something so quickly after Summoner's Duel.
The thing is, Summoner's Duel R doesn't actually feel like a new game mode. It just feels like they just want to put in a limited time event from something that they already literally have. It doesn't feel like they did any work to that at all. So if they have something they have been working on, good. Why not have it here? Why not actually do something involving like separate book units doing like some weird stuff, like a lost lore sort of thing, but not by game, but by version, you know? That would be kind of weird, but I mean, that would be at least like some weird funny gimmick, but you know, like there's a lot of weird things that they can possibly do, especially with how many dead game modes there are. I mean, we literally just got our first tap battle revival, keep in mind, for like how long it's been.
8 months? 8 months?
Maybe, yeah. Like that mode is dead and they're literally bringing it back. It's like, huh? But it's like, they gotta introduce something that kind of works out, because it's like you've got your solid sort of bit of modes that are kind of like return like here and now and then. Like you've got your Grand Conquest, you've got your Lost Lore, you've got what is it again? I keep forgetting the one of the 2 units. I keep forgetting what it's called.
2 units.
The one that just came out. 2 units. They pair up and do all the
Hero's Journey.
Yes, Hero's Journey.
Yeah.
I guess
I'm liking that. It's just a little bit of a laid back sort of.
Yeah, and I feel like just getting in like another thing with that. Oh yeah, Ponza Loki. Actually, I'm surprised at how nerfed that's gone, because that was super common for a bit, and then,
like that was once every week.
Yeah, or like 2 weeks even. So it's like you've got your good mix there, but at least throwing in like one more thing there and maybe like finally phasing out the bad stuff, like tap battle.
I'm surprised they
maybe even whatchamacallit, I can't think of what it's called. Like whether you do like the giant battles for like nothing and you do fuck all.
Rival Domains.
No, not Rival Domains. No,
Mjolnir Strike.
No, Mjolnir Strike is fine. That's actually, I keep forgetting that one's a thing too. No, it's the 4 armies and you use your shields or whatever to just try and like defeat like a mega.
Frontline Phalanx.
Front Phoenix, yes. I keep forgetting what they're called. They're not on the top of my head, but it's like you can face out like the really dumb ones.
That's a dead game. That's a dead game.
You literally don't even play it. There's nothing you do there. It's just like it's like a weird like sort of like a raid battle thing where you get everyone together.
I think it's just
something, but you don't even play the game.
It's literally just a reskin Lost Lore to me.
It doesn't even feel like Lost Lore. There's no lore. Literally, and you don't get anything out of it. Maybe like obviously you get like your divine codes or ephemera with that, but it's like that's it. You get nothing else. At least like with Lost Lore, like you get some weird stuff with it, and you can keep grinding some weird basic rewards like more shards and even like swords and stamina
potions. Yeah,
which I actually like. So it's like I don't know. They're going to do something. You never know what it'll be until it happens, and then either it's going to get heavily criticized or absolutely adored. Because luckily, Hero's Journey was basically critically acclaimed for being at least interesting. It did Lost Lore
And
basically
it
right.
It just
In a really cool way.
It's a casual mode where you get a free accessory just by playing.
Exactly, and not only that, but if you're really into the whole shipping and that sort of stuff, or just seeing units interact in some dumb, funny scenarios, why not? I already made an Among Us joke with the button, so it's like you can do some really dumb, funny things with that. So it's just like, you've got potential from that there. So it's like, they know how to make these cool limited time modes. But like, what are they going to do that this time? You never know.
They're more miss than hits.
Exactly, luckily, because they know what they've been sort of doing. And luckily, we've just had our miss in Summoner's Duel R. So now that means that they are guaranteed to have a W, you know?
I think that counts for a few misses.
Okay.
And,
yes.
And attacks can't even miss in Feh, so what the hell are they doing?
True. No, if anything, it might just be like, because you usually have like the good one, the bad one, and the meh one. Because that's what I would call like Ponza Loki, because that one was really, well, like, not that it's bad, but you kind of
Wands of Loki started out like, oh, this is good, to and it stayed at like.
Exactly, and I think maybe we're due for maybe another one, unless they want to be really nice and give us something juicy.
Like Roka Sieges. I like Roka Sieges.
I completely forgot about that mode too in a way, but yeah, that's pretty rare.
Roka Sieges, you can have some fun for cheese that you can do.
Yeah,
you can bring in your favorite characters. Like, it's one of those modes where you're like not actively competing against people. Like, yeah, sure, you can go in the rankings, but
you can see the ranking and see who's kind of there, and just like that's why Grand Conquest is kind of funny. You don't really interact with many people, but at least you see some funny stuff. Like, I literally checked my realm for today, and it's like, huh, I got Speedy Hawk. What's up? They told us a popular, but it's like, yeah.
Yeah, and with my last one, I had a realm shared with my friend Brave Blitz.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah. I thought I saw like some other stuff too.
She was on my realm. I even tweeted at her.
I know, I saw that and I liked it because I like tweets because I'm dumb and I use Twitter for like what?
For liking tweets, I guess.
Exactly.
But yeah, but modes like that, like where you're not actively competing against people, usually do really well.
Yeah, it's just being able to just kind of have fun with it. It's like, good. Take the headache out of the game and just do some fun stuff.
And that's the thing.
That's the magic. Fun. Something this game really needs, especially
being
with
competitive isn't fun.
Exactly.
But it is like competitive is like, okay, you feel really good after playing it, but you also feel really bad after playing it, and it's just like, why would
or an either or of the extremes. It's like you don't feel gratified by it at all. Like, at this point, we've gotten so smooth brain with competitive, we just need something chill, and that's what we've gone, and it's worked out. So it's like, just come on, just give us some more.
So yeah, if we are going to get a mode, it's got to be something casual.
You know what they can do? They can literally just implement World Flipper, and that'd be funny. Just have them just fly around a fucking battlefield, and just, it doesn't matter, literally. And make it based off of blessings and not elements. Simple as that. There you go. Perfect idea. IS, just hire me as a fucking designer. Please.
Alrighty.
Creative lead. There you go. I'm your new one.
There you go. You got a job.
Exactly. Luckily, finally, I'm now no longer unemployed and just doing dumb content creation on the side. I have an actual job now. All right. What are you thinking for this next one? Because I actually have my next one, luckily. But what have you got lined up?
So in my head, I have got a slightly outlandish, but not out of the realm of possibility, further updates to sparking. I reckon they might start allowing multiple sparks on more banners.
If they did that on like base banners, at least being
like
able to get
heroes,
2 sparks.
Because
if they
now,
do 2, that's fine. Honestly, that's fine.
2 or 3, basically, because now that we're getting ascended heroes, some from heroes themselves, or that, many people are sparking specifically for florets.
Which I have mentioned in the past before when I was doing my Ascendant videos, and stuff that people have already honed down on as well. That's kind of how you should be going at it. So you get that.
But there's many people that will be like, but I don't want that character, but I have to spark for it because of the floret. I think they
Exactly.
might see the opportunity there and say, well, okay then. You can
Yeah.
spark multiple times as long as you've got the orbs for it.
Exactly, and that's
You
not
can have,
bad. I mean,
have the
people can get
character you
people get
want.
140 easily, and it's like just marking that back up to like, well, it wouldn't be 280 because you aren't going to give more summoning tickets, but you get the idea. Like having like 300 orbs to spark for 2 units, if you don't already get them. But even like just all that, I think that's fine, honestly.
Yeah, like I say, it's not like it's outlandish, but not out of the realm.
It's not the most cost efficient either, but it still works. It's still a way for people to get more units anyway.
And it would probably offset a lot of the backlash that they've got from the Feh Pass.
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking though. Like even I don't even really consider it the backlash, but it's more so that they just did those changes.
Yeah, there was a lot of like
there was a lot of backlash for that one, or at least criticism,
like,
because there are people who just want everything for free, but it's like but that's not the point with it though. It's like
the thing is, sparking in many games is seen as like a helper for free-to-play players, because many people struggle to get the character that they want / need, and that is a safety
especially
net
as a growing gacha meta goes on.
It's usually a given that a gacha game will have that available for all players. So that's where the backlash comes in on that one. But I think that,
or at least it's not for like these main banners, which I guess is kind of okay. Which is like, sure, like so legendary mythics, who cares about that? Seasonal, but main heroes, it's like at least it's not there right now. So make something a little bit more accessible there. Why not?
They'll do something about the summoning changes in Sparks because of florets.
I think the regular banners could definitely use the spark thing. And honestly, I wouldn't mind it if they made it so that you could actually spark on weekly revivals. I think that would just go a long way too. If they're not going to do a merge item, that could help too. Just specific, and I mean specifically these revivals, like and the new heroes.
Give
those
them
ones
somebody.
For sure.
Give them something.
Exactly, and I think that's honestly perfectly fine. If people are going to want to spend the orbs and it's a medium spending, and I mean like 300 max at that point, if you're going for 2 new heroes with ascendants, like I think that's fine, honestly. I really do. And it's like, but that's
like that's my sort of middle of the road, maybe not.
I'm more thinking maybe not, literally only just because they did do a spark change recently, even if it was tied to Feh Pass, which is like fine, like you finally have the incentive to get Feh Pass for that stuff. But it's like, even just if you took that whole fact out of it, that is technically a spark change. Will they do something now? Maybe because it's anniversary, why not? But I'm not fully sold on it.
It's usually the big change where, like, it was trait fruits last time that was announced. I'm pretty sure this time last year.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like they had to do something that isn't an item really though, because we just had flores, and it's like maybe they do a merge item, but if not, it's like they're gonna have to do something, and preferably something that isn't just demoting a bunch of other units to revivals. Like no, that's dumb.
Like they added an indicator of what assets and flaws are, and then they sorted out trait fruits. So they've adjusted spark changes to make way for another spark change,
which honestly is fine. Like just making the differentiating between normal summoning and kind of just
seasonal.
Yeah, something. Exactly, because it's like you're not really going for a lot of these seasonal stuff unless you have a unit that you really, really want. People are going to spend more on these new heroes because they're going to be permanently summonable, not these seasonals. That's why they're rarer to get sometimes. And that's why you have heavy spenders going in on there. That's why it incentivizes Feh Pass more than putting it to the regular player base. I think that makes sense. So, I mean, you know what? Just give us something for new heroes. And I guess it would make sense, too, because especially... And this is all going to tie together. This isn't my next thing. But, like, if you are demoting units that are from, like, up to, like, CYL 3, not all Book 3, but CYL 3, and since... Yeah, because it's going to be like after Beast to CYL or whatever. But you do that, you have the merge item that affects Book 3 and earlier, and then these new hero buffs that also benefit revivals. That seems like a really weird win-win. I mean, you won't have like the CYL 3 units until at least back half of the year for the new heroes or new revival rotations, but we've still got something. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
God, now I'm trying to remember what it was that I had for my my next thing. I actually completely forgot. Maybe it'll come back to me after, but it's like, damn it, I actually had something. God damn it. Okay, something a little quick and easy.
Go for an easy pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you know what I would like them to do. Because they're obviously going to be upping the cap on the Dragonflowers. Tons of flowers. That's just all I want. Just tons of them, because everyone has like those set amount of units that they are guaranteed to give their horde of Dragonflowers to, because you're probably going to stock up on some. I've got two immediately in mind. Duo New Year's Valoria. That's 1,200 infantry flowers as is. So it's just like, more so just in general, they need to give us a ton more flowers to catch up with all these units that are always having to do 600 per each time, especially with it increasing. They need us to give a lot more, and they've done better with it, especially like with the loyalty stuff with Feh Pass, but even so, just more modes bringing it in, and the increasing rewards in Summoner Duels as well, which actually kind of helps with that. But you're going to need to release a lot more if you're literally going into basically, well, like year 6 with units that are going to have 25 Dragonflowers. That's like, because I don't remember the full thing, because it eventually goes to 600 for them eventually, right? But it starts out easier, right? It's like that's still incredibly ridiculous. And even after that, you have the ones that are going to be now like just 20 in general. Is that 6 times 20? What is that, like? It's not 8,000, is it? No, that's dumb.
I could literally check for you.
No,
right
4,000,
now.
I think, right? Like
so what, the max amount?
600 by 20. Yeah, that should be actually, yeah, that should be 4,000, right? Like if you're just getting
are we talking Gen 1 getting
no,
max
we're talking anybody with 20. Anybody with 20 from this update. So that would be that would be any Gen 1 non-infantry. So say Reinhardt, for example, he's now going to get 20 Dragonflowers.
So for 20, you're looking at 2,060 for a Gen 1 unit. To get 20 to get to plus 20 on Dragonflowers. Also, my phone's about to die.
Good job. But that's still so much. It's actually ridiculous. So it's like they need to be able to give it out a lot more, because like, say you get somebody that would fall into that sort of category and you're going from 0 to 20. It's like, have fun with that one. Like, honestly, it's just like they need to give us a lot more flowers, a lot more consistently. I'd rather have them give us a lot more flowers than giving us more flurries. And I'm a preacher for both. Give us more of each so that you can actually give these sort of stuff to the units that really need these stats. So it's like, just make these resources a lot more obtainable, because it's not like it's broken or anything. It helps out everybody with all these older units that they want to use, and I think the flowers is a lot more reasonable, honestly.
Like possibly adding it to adding more to arena rewards, or because if we want people to keep playing those modes,
just upping just the overall amount that you can get.
Yeah,
it's going to be a net positive overall, just a ton more. Like even like, I don't know if doubling is going to really do it, like doubling it in like every mode, or even like 1.5 it. Yeah, that should still help overall. Simply
like
put it.
I remember seeing the bonuses that we're going to get for New Year's, and it was a lot. It was a lot of like flowers in our eyes, but we suddenly realized that's nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's really doing anything when you have so many units that are going to be needing all these resources. Like you have hundreds of units, and the count or the cap is going to just increase furthermore. It's just like
more and more. Yeah.
exactly. It's crazy. So being able to give us a lot more of them is honestly just going to help out just tenfold. Simply put it. So just up the rewards a lot more. Just at least for Dragonflowers, just a ton of them. That's all I ask. Simple as that. Now, something not as simple, and I would hope, we're basically tanking our far left. So do you have a completely ridiculous prediction thing here?
Totally ridiculous. Summoning pool changes.
What kind of summoning pool changes are we talking?
The change, people always keep suggesting it. Put Gen 1 and 2 seasonals in the main pool. They'll never do it, but we can have hope. Because they've already updated the whole weekly revival things.
Yeah. My whole idea with it was that why not just put them in all together as like 4-star focuses, or just put them in as just overall units that you can be just summon overall on the brand new banners. And it also incentivizes just people to go for these banners more because you're going to be spending more for some of these seasonal units and you're going to get a spark with it. Why not just make these older ones accessible so it's not like they're ruining your pity at all, but just make them more accessible. Don't just have loads and loads of banners.
Make them 4-star specials.
Exactly, 4-star specials, 4-star focuses. It's like you've got so much that you can work with. Or even, it might eventually get to a point where you even have just those units that you can just pull for. Like, think about it. Like, you've got like 4 or 5 years down the road, you've got like 10 Easter banners. You can probably fill out all of the older units from that and make that the summoning pool, the regular summoning pool, amongst the 5-star focuses that are the brand new ones. You know, it's just like,
yeah, like, I get what you're saying.
Why not?
Because it's sort of just like, yeah, like to make that like in the actual pool of the seasonals.
Mm-hmm. I actually wouldn't mind even having those older seasonals be 4-star specials, just overall, or even just doing do like 2 revivals each week, one of old seasonals and one of the regular one that we have right now. It's just like,
yeah,
make them more accessible already. Like, we've already given so many ways of how they can do that. I mean, yeah, we've already really just done the merge item in this, but
like if we're not going to get a merge item, then give us seasonal reruns.
Exactly. People have been wanting this for so long because people wanted the Spark stuff. And it's like, you don't have that with reruns. You gotta give us something. Literally anything.
I'll use the same example as I did earlier, like Summer Tiki. I've always sort of like been interested in trying to get her to +10.
Because why not? Yeah. But it's so difficult. Incredibly.
It's like Bridal Ninian. I didn't expect to be able to +10 her, but I eventually did with Perseverance.
And the format too. So
yeah, exactly. And it's just like, you don't get that with Gen 1 seasonals anymore.
Exactly.
You don't get people thinking, yeah, I'm going to pull for Tiki, unless you are really, really into it.
Yeah, because you're not getting like a double special heroes of all these older units, especially ones that really don't need to be on there. That's why it's like you have these for these newer units so that you can be like me and attempt at getting some of these seasonals for these units that you like. I got really lucky with Dual Alm. I didn't get lucky at all. I got completely screwed over, like just butt-fucked from the Valoria one. And then eventually I had to do for this last banner that just came out. It's just like, I was able to get lucky with it finally, but it's like, and especially because that's basically a glorified actual seasonal banner, but as a double special heroes. It's so dumb, but it's like, you have those chances now, but you don't have them for these older ones that you might just want for the hell of it. It's just like, I don't really know what else to say. It's ridiculous.
Like, my Summer Tiki is +HP. I can't warrant using a trait fruit on her unless I'm really desperate. Like,
she doesn't even have like a bad HP stat too. Like honestly, that could even be just a dumb thing that you have, like a plus
she's
10
not
plus
got
HP.
a great HP stat. Like,
But she has one that is technically workable. At least that I remember that time.
39 plus
I thought
plus
it
1.
was okay. Honestly, I thought it was higher. I really did.
No.
She has some.
workable
She has a
HP
really
stat.
weird. She has a really weird high stat though. I know that.
Her weird high stat is defense.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah, it
It's
was
not
HP
like
or defense.
it's incredibly balanced. It's sort of like mid on attack speed and defense, but like
Yeah.
no one goes out their way and thinking, yeah, I'm going to build this one because it outclassed everything
Maybe
else.
if this was a thing like a long time ago, back when like Libra was starting to become a thing, it's like, oh, maybe I could still just do Summer Tiki given I have all these resources. No, it's like completely out of the context because like even with Libra's new refine, you're not gonna do that when you've got units like Ninja Shamir and Pirate Lithis, for example, who kind of just do that sort of role, or even just some other stuff. But you get what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah. Like, granted, they will never get a refine, or we would hope that they would get a refine eventually, but they don't seem to like giving refines to seasonals without buffs.
Exactly.
But yeah, like, I am filled with a lot of hopium for old seasonals. Yeah, for old seasonals.
I think a lot of people do, and it's just like, they're going to do something eventually. Why not just do it now since we've been asking for so long? It's just like, they know. So it's just like, do it. Just do it already. Do it. Exactly. You know what else they can also do? Literally just do it already. And now I remembered what I was going to do last time. You won't see it immediately, but I need to type it out. At the very least, they're going to up the friends list count to 200. They need to do some friends list changes, period. Like, seriously, now you give us profiles and this sort of stuff, and even a bunch of other things. Like, you can literally, like, duel your friends and all this other stuff with Summer's Duels. Up the friend count, god damn it! Literally.
Yeah.
At the very least. I don't know what else you could otherwise do for, like, some weird other wacky stuff. I mean, obviously some more integrations, but the fact that we are stuck on 150 still, it's actually crazy. Honestly. It makes absolutely no sense. Period. All right, Paul, what have you got that might be possibly outlandish, but also maybe reasonable? You've got to have something else. Did you use everything on your list yet, actually? I'm curious.
I've used up everything on my list.
Okay, that's fair.
So,
now we're just freeballing it then. El Clasico. Fun.
We haven't got confirmation that we've got Grand Hero Battle revivals.
Okay.
So, I would honestly... We got the rotations.
Yes.
Those are
not
confirmed,
actual...
but
oh,
not
no, I
the
get what you mean,
revivals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
I mean, that's a pretty easy one to at least slot into.
So
honestly,
let's go
like,
with some easy ones.
yeah, let's go with the easy ones for now. I am actually a little surprised that the one thing that got shown off was that we have, like, they actually data mined in advance that we're actually getting a new rotation of, like, consistent Grand Hero battles, which is really nice to have. I don't know if they're going to replace the old ones. Maybe they do. I don't fully understand.
I think they'll probably just keep the other ones because.
And I honestly think that's fine. Realistically, it's like, just why not? And maybe, just maybe,
those
if they don't
will become accessible.
If they don't already have abyssals, you can also get those abyssals too. Well, why not? So it's like, cause one of them, because you said Linus was going to be one of them, right?
I'm pretty sure Linus is going to be available.
Abyssal Linus, honestly, would be kind of an interesting map. I'm not going to lie. I think that'd be kind of cool. And I know you would like it for sure. You'll do whatever you can do with that
for
one.
real, like, they would update Fanged Basilicos.
That is actually true. Yeah, that would be
a hell of a map.
But really cool. And I mean, his map was always interesting. Even from day one, people were kind of struggling with it. I mean, obviously, time has changed. Things have gotten easier with that.
Obviously, they would update it.
But now you can update it. Yeah, exactly. Like, you even have
give
these
give the lethality to the dagger unit.
For example, yeah. Like, even because I'm trying to think. I'm actually gonna go on Feh quickly. Hopefully I'm not completely screwing myself with this one. But I mostly just want to look at, for example, just looking at updates that we have had. We can just look at the Bound Hero battle that we have right now with Noe and Na, because they've got some stuff. Because I mean, I don't, yeah, because never mind. Like Na has the whatchamacallit, the bonus stuff already, but
yeah,
that's already helped. But I mean, Noe got the whole effect thanks to, like, she just has a lot of other stuff. Okay, now I'm on it. You've got your steady breath, sure, but they decided to give her route attack speed 4 so that you can't just panic her out of her weird stuff, because one, it doesn't really matter because it's purifying breath, but now you can just make sure that you can't panic her, period, which is actually kind of cool. And also, yeah, there is a lethality dagger on here because I wanted to remember there is with times pulse and I mean flashing before, but that's not the point. But yeah. Oh yeah, Na has the attack speed menace, so that ends up proccing her weapon too, since that gives her visible buffs.
They've started to really think about their Bound Hero battles. And
exactly. Like, even for example, you can't really, like, you're dealing with a full triangle, a full weapon triangle of colors to deal with too from this as well, no matter which way you go. Like, you might try to beat out like certain units. No, you're going to have to go up against a blue, a red, and a green, at least for this specific map. So it's like they're really thinking about this sort of stuff now. So being able to think about like how to like really update some of these units for some of these older Grand Hero battles, even if you're just really able to update like some of them, but maybe you only really focus on the abyssal, it's like, why not? And also you can literally just drip them out the wazoo, like you know, I'm just gonna put it on screen right now. This motherfucker really wants to throw me off my guard. I'm completely unfazed, but you get what I mean. You're trying to just drip them out, make them just completely nuts. But yes. I mean, it's like, you get the idea.
But I can see them adding abyssals to these old GHBs. Because, like, some have had refines in this time.
Like Linus, for example. But again, you get the point, though. Like, a lot of these have kind of had, like, some pretty nice stuff to work with. So being able to update that stuff, giving us an actual challenge like with these new rotations.
Give Spurn to Linus, or Fury 4 as well, like Fury 4 Frenzy. I could see them having real fun with these maps.
Because what would be like another one? Actually, Jamka would probably get on there. They could do like some pretty weird stuff with that too. So it's like,
Pre-charged Deadeye.
Perhaps, yeah, or even like give like a bunch of like weird movement stuff in Kanto to like the flyers and cavalry that are on it, because I think he has a ranged cav on there. Give them Fire Trace, for example. Just try to do something to emulate the movement there, because you can technically do that now. So it's like, why not? You
I remember the map. I remember the map of Jamka being very, very easy.
It's weird because it's like, depending on how you kind of handicap yourself, there's a lot of trees. Yeah, so if you're running like a bunch of cavalry, it's going to be weird. And I remember that because I think because we did have some sort of like challenge, maybe like a limited hero battle for Jamka and that sort of stuff. And I know that, at least for myself, I had some struggles because I had like weird movement stuff to
I think it was
because
quest.
Of those forests.
It was for the revival, and they said there's some orbs if you can beat it with cavalry.
Yeah, for example, so it's just like being able to do that stuff. It's like, so it's just like just even more than just that sort of thing, but just making these maps a little bit more, you know, just challenging to figure out. Not just make it something that you can just true solo with Fallen Native Guard. Like, just make it so that you actually have to like think about this sort of stuff. Not as much as like, you know, legendary mythic abyssals, but you know, something that gets like the brains turning so that you can at least try a little something. Yeah, you could probably use it with something like Ash or something, but you at least have, you know, something you can kind of just try out with these, because they're not just going to put in this new rotation, do absolutely nothing. So it's just like, they got to do something, so adding abyssals would be nice, and I think that's something they honestly should do more. Make more of these rotations come back with more abyssal maps, because that's a really weird thing. We don't have too many like really consistent like abyssal maps. We only have it with these two sets of rotations as is.
It's only one set of rotations that's got it.
Oh wait, oh yeah, it is. So then buff, give it to the new one in that second one. I wouldn't mind going up against Abyssal Berkut. That would actually be really kind of weird to mess with, actually. Not gonna lie. He doesn't have it. No, it's like the
yeah.
Lloyd in that. That's the original ones. Yeah. So doing that.
Lloyd got it. I remember that because they gave the defense refine Regal Blade with steady blow, which was it was a wild ride.
Okay, you know what? I'm changing this because the whole thing that I had marked here was the revivals. We were talking about like doing another like revival set, but now it's like we talked about these.
Add that in as well.
GHB
like
abyssal.
Wild.
GHB abyssal rotation. Because it's like we don't fully know that, but it's like having more abyssals like for those rotations. Do that, please, and we can just have that. You know, I'll just do that for my next one then, or at least with the revival, the GHB revival, just to have that. You know, kind of just stated somewhere, because it's like, I mean, duh, and I mean, yeah, we might be struggling a little bit with trying to figure this stuff out, but you get the point.
I want them to go completely hog wild and make it difficult, you know, and have some good accessories as well.
Yeah, because like even with the original like sets, it wasn't the best, but it was like it was okay.
I don't. They like gotta
give us some weird stuff.
Accessories.
Yeah,
I want
give us something a little more fun. You know,
like because of
nothing like Heroes Journeys, but at least something. You know, maybe some golden.
Yes,
you really want them to actually.
Like make accessories from existing heroes.
Well,
just random.
That
like, say,
or what if they tried doing like
bonus Sylvain sunglasses or something like.
Yeah, that would be kind of
like
cool.
Little things.
Or what they could also do, not like other stuff, like they could always do like platinum or whatever the hell, or like do something kind of dummy with that. But what if they also made EX like bonus EXs off of already existing ones? Like you have like for example, you've got like the let's just take Volk's Mask for example. Like you know how that is, and you have like the EX one that's like the BDSM looking one with the black and the you know the little
black
bits
mask.
There. You could have a third variant of that in a different way and make that an abyssal reward. But more so, like you want to have it pertaining to like these characters, right? So do something a little bit more, you know, familiar. Like for example, like Linus and that sort of stuff. Do something that would make sense for like a Black Fang sort of thing. I don't remember exactly if we've had anything like that, but that is something you could possibly do as an avenue. Give something that's a little more specific, not necessarily directly lore based on Linus. You have to give it a little bit of thought, given like you're still evolving an already existing one like they do with EX as is, but it's like you have something that's a little more personal that isn't just, you know, a simple recolor, you know?
Which is why I think just making completely new accessories based off of old heroes would probably be the better take on it.
Exactly. Or, like they don't have to go full quality and do the whole Hero's Journey thing. Yeah, that's nice, but we'd rather have that quality over there for obvious reasons. You can do a lot of other things that aren't just recolors. You just gotta put your mind to it a little bit, you know? A little bit. So, but I'm all for it. Just do something like that, or even not just give us accessories. Maybe give us a little bit more. Like, honestly, if they put some of the Dragonflowers as rewards along with a golden accessory, I mean, everyone's wanted that sort of thing, so it's like, why not just give us a little bit?
That is a short term. It is a short term reward,
but it's something, you know. Like I think that's fine. It's better than orbs because like you're always gonna get orbs and that sort of stuff, and they're pretty generous with those as is. So make it something that is still pretty sought after as well. Like maybe even for like just randomly like one of them, they give it just like something dumb. Like I don't want to say anything dumb, but like a Formasaur or like a Fluorite. That would be so funny. Like how like you would get rewards like with Blessed Gardens, that sort of stuff, and how it always varied. You could try a little something like that along with an accessory, you know? Because it's like that was always a weird thing. But I mean, it's like but yeah, no. Otherwise, I mean, they're gonna do a JHP revival. We're just putting that there. So, do you have anything now next? At least for yourself.
Like this goes back to like the new mode thing, but this would be a massive mode, like a Tempest trial mode, but with GHPs.
I feel like in a way I'd rather have that with the new game mode. That's not bad.
Like see how many you can get through in survival. And
True.
the difficulty will keep going up and up and up until you've got like enemies at like 99 HP, and you've still got to try and rinse through them until your chain ends and you get rewards based off of that.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of like games where that's sort of like a weird thing. Like I can't think of immediately like just games that just keep going on and on until you no longer can't. Like think of it like.
Are you thinking about the genre? Are you talking about the genre of that?
Not I guess, or just games that fall that sort of thing. Like for example, think of it like an infinite. Actually, yeah, no, I know a game that has that sort of thing because they have a mode like that. Slay the Spire.
Yeah.
Normally you can just go through like 3 of them to do whatever, but you have some that go on.
Roguelikes.
And on and on. Yeah, do something like that with, honestly, all sorts of maps. Hell, you can even throw in like maybe even the handful like legendary or mythic and that sort of stuff. Yeah, that'd be a little crazy.
Like like milestones.
And
you
can even throw on like regular ones too. Like
heck, like make it so you can't use the Feh Pass Rewind.
Well, that's the big thing I was actually going to mention. Yes, don't do that. Like, don't give it. Not even Light's Blessings. Just make it so that you have no way of getting around the stuff. You actually have to think about this stuff once you go more.
You can't just like freehead this. You gotta
exactly. You actually gotta think about it. You won't have to worry about it earlier on because you might get some stuff like you know what map they need to bring back in this mode just because there's a lot of like maps that are kind of stuck from book 1. They need to bring back the wall one, like where it's like a bunch of like you had to break a bunch of breakable walls. People are stuck in like 1 by 1s. It was the one with like a Raven and that sort of stuff. It was a map that was like
and Nino.
Yeah, but it was that one map off of the one guy that nerfs magic completely. I forget his name, but you know who I'm talking about.
Are you talking about from the original game it was based off, or?
Yes. Because that's what those maps were based off of. Like, they were based off of actual maps from their base games. I've always missed that stuff. I would like them to do more of them, but I mean, bringing back some of these old ones that are phased out because they suck for gameplay, but in a rogue, like, who gives a fuck, you know? At that point, like, you're still gotta think. Like, imagine you have, like, that map, like, super late on, and you've got some really weird stuff. Like, you've got, like, where Nina would be, because I think, like, there's something, like, 2 spots away. What if that's like what if that's a near save or a far save unit that's super fucking tanky? You got to figure out how to deal with that run, right? That would be hell, but it would be a lot of fucking fun having just the possibility of figuring that out, you know?
Yeah, so would you say that's a separate slot, or?
No, I think altogether, like a Tempest Trial or just like a... I would want that actually together. A Tempest Trial or a roguelike style, like
where
ladder.
It's just non-stop. Because the idea of that comes from Dragalia Lost, where they actually recently added a mode which has given a lot of replayability. I'm almost addicted to it at the moment.
I wouldn't blame you because that sounds really cool to at least mess with a bunch
it's called Enter the Kaleidoscape, where they actually use old maps from the story and they like scatter in boss battles.
So you know what's funny with that
from
too?
Old events.
No, one of the main things that World Flipper has is literally like, and they have it like in lore as well. It's literally called a kaleidoscope, where you visit old maps to do like getting a bunch of like rewards. Like you use that for like grinding like XP and that sort of stuff and other rewards, and then other stuff to help grow those units. That it's literally called the kaleidoscope. So it's just like. And I mean, it's a side game thing, so I mean, like that's where they got it from.
Thing, but
but like having an idea like that, like an infinite battle area like that, would be really cool.
Go as far as you can.
That would give a lot of longevity for this game if you don't want to do anything competitive. You could do a lot of weird stuff.
Could be completely
that could do
random.
A lot of content. Cool. That could do a lot for content too. Like you can just have, like, okay, say for example, if you're doing like some, exactly, not even just that, but you could literally just like have like if you're doing like long stream stuff, that's a way to actually have content. You could literally have your chat pick out however many units out of something and see how far you can go with that. That would be so fun, honestly. Now you're giving me way too much hopium that this would ever happen, but this is never gonna fucking happen. But I love this idea so much that I wish it actually would happen. That would be so fun.
I need to do a write-up for a video on that.
That would unironically invigorate my love for this game. I think that would be cool. If you even ask just a bunch of other just content creators, just like this sort of idea, see how they would like it. Just like, that would be just cool, honestly. Do something with that, please. And you're probably going to quote this for editing later on.
Your units. You got to know your units and how they tick and see how they would work for all situations.
Or even just seeing some weird stuff. Just like, because you always had stuff like, for example, I remember like Marble Soda, for example, always did like those duo true solos or whatever, but with May and Boeing, that sort of stuff. Now you can actually technically, if you really wanted to, do that sort of stuff, but like with an actual like squad and that sort of stuff, and you have something that you can actually work for, you know? And maybe even like as a way to incentivize to going further with it, you have these one-time rewards for going really far in.
I would honestly say,
like, if you are somehow able to go in like
time,
if you
make them one time,
this would be funny. Exactly. No, but this would be funny if you, for the first time that you make it through 100 maps. What if they give it so it's like you get a guaranteed like a 5-star ticket? That would be cool. And I'm surprised that this game really hasn't done too much. Like, you had like those guaranteed 5-star like summon banners that you did like the once. But why not give us like a ticket that you can use on like a certain banner? Maybe it would be like that, but like you get that ticket to access that banner by getting through 100 maps of this thing. That would be honestly just so cool.
Like, to make it a proper achievement.
Exactly. Like, people always joke about how you get 5,000 R&R to get the Veronica accessory and be like, I won Feh. Like, you gotta do something like really nice with this, and like that's a way of like really saying
make it a case of like there's something to work for all the way up.
It's not like you can it's not like you can always throw in just Hergers, all these meta units to make it work. Like, you can throw in a squad of Legendary Sigurd, Brave Erica, Duo Korn, Fallen Edelgard, and they might not even be able to get to that.
Yeah, you know, there could be one unit that fucks up all of them.
Exactly. Like, or even just overall that just picks them off. It's just like, once you take out that Fallen Edelgard, which would be able to cheese a lot of it, you would think, once that's gone, it could be like, oh fuck, this is game over. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. If they make one false move, then boom, that's it.
Exactly. And it's just like, ugh, my god. Like, that's such a good idea.
I think we've both found our sort of dream sort of mode there.
Yes, for the longevity of this game, for all that is holy, to save the burnout of anybody who is dealing with all the competitive bullshit in this game, Intelligent Systems, please implement a roguelike, just infinite map game thing. Please. For the love of God, you can put in like arena or tie it to like that sort of thing. Not like it's actually arena, but you know, do something like that.
On its own. Just do it on its own, like forever.
Or what they could do, like as my last little bit for this, what if they did something akin to maybe like Blessed Gardens, where it's like, because they added those maps incrementally and they got harder over time, right? What if over time they released more levels to that sort of thing, you know? Like, obviously you'll have like the infinite one, but it's like, what if you have like more and more that you could like work towards, like more levels of more difficulty, you know? To add in like new stuff, like new skills, new units, and a bunch of that sort of stuff to add in that variation. Like, please, for the love of God. Like, I am so invested in this that it's just like, I can't. Like, I would honestly, like...
I'm so sorry I have given you all of
the logical part of
this.
me would also put this in New Game Mode, but no. This idea is so good. It is staying on its own. And I'm so glad we are having this conversation now, because we now have something that people can actually watch this video for. Literally. I'm not even joking. Like, this... Wow, and there's like nothing... Okay, alright. So, for the next one, I'm just going to do something quick and easy, because like, I know I had some of them lined up, but it's like, I'm just going to do it now. And I'm not even going to put anything weird with it, but you'll understand what I'm doing. I'm just going to say I'm writing OMEGALUL. Because
so basically, if the whole thing is like...
a fucking flop, yes. It had to go in there at some point. We did it last time at the tail end, but I'm putting it in now just for some variation on the board.
Where it's like we expected nothing, but we were still disappointed.
Yes, basically. And I mean, it can technically line up because that's now in the column, the diagonal column of the skills banners, like that revival, the daily revival, and then new hero sparks buff. So maybe that'll be good, but everything else is going to be like weird. It's going to obviously depend on what's in the final bit, but you know, that's still kind of, you know. Okay, now the thing is though, Paul, do you have anything else that's kind of big brain, or just anything to go off that? Anything that isn't just, because I feel like in a way we kind of got so invested in that we forgot about everything else. In a way.
I derailed the whole thing with good ideas.
But it is a good idea. We needed something like this. It's called content. But it's fine. If not, I can go with another one that I don't know if you thought about immediately, but it's fine. It'll make you think of two maybe. I know it's not going to happen, but it would actually be kind of funny if they finally did it. Crossover.
Yeah.
It would actually be
never gonna happen, but we can.
Or even just like a little, like, I don't even know, like a reference to like something. Like at some point, you know what will be just kind of funny? Just give us like an accessory of like Link's hat, you know? You can fucking do it. Or even, you know what they could do? They might not do it here, but something that would actually be kind of nice. Why can't they just do a random tie-in with Advance Wars, since 1 and 2 is going to be coming out in March or April, I think? Because they push it back. Why not do a little something to incentivize that and like fail a little bit? Like put in maybe like one of the characters. Just in some weird way. Probably Andy, yeah. That would honestly be kind of funny. Or even, at the very least, you know what would be funny? What if they made it so that you had a Kieran exclusive accessory that was like Andy's wrench or something like that, or just something that would I like just do a little something to reference another game series. For the love of God, you don't have to do much. Just do something. That would be kind of cool, honestly.
Because speaking of crossovers, I was talking about on Twitter about how they handled one of the crossover characters in Dragalia. I'm talking about Dragalia again, where they had Chrom.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning this with that whole weird meme about Chrom's wife, but it's like they had an actual conversation with an actual character in Dragalia.
Yeah, no, it's not just a conversation, a whole story arc.
Wait, really? Wow.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus no, they went hard. And like where one of the main characters, Zephyr, from a different alternate timeline, ends up having sort of a relationship with Chrom.
Like an actual like relationship, or just like a kinship off of the whole time travel thing.
Kinship, yes, and it was
which makes sense.
It was done beautifully, like to tie in with the crossover, and nice. It doesn't affect the main story.
I honestly completely forgot that Chrom was actually a unit that was added into Dragalia too. Like I remember like Marth and Tiki and like the Heroes OCs. I don't remember Chrom. But it's
Chrom got put in the second crossover along with Tiki.
It's like, good God. Yeah. It's like, you've got all the stuff that you can do with like Dragalia and that sort of stuff. And like, you've also got side games that you can do some weird stuff. Like, for the love of God, maybe like one day. It would never fucking happen since it's not an actual Nintendo IP in the slightest. But like, I mean, if you want to add Mia from World Flipper into the game, you would make me very happy. You have no idea how happy it would make me.
We've already got
like,
Mia and Feh.
Give me an actual furry in Feh. I'm tired of all these beast units. Give me an actual anthropomorphic character. I can't just live off of Paul's one mock-up of Roxanne Wolf as a face sprite. Come on, I need an actual anthropomorphic character in Fire Emblem Heroes, be it something you do, IS, or a crossover with Psy Games, because you already did it before. Just do something.
I do agree. Crossover, because there's so much potential. Because
exactly, you can just do something super tame. Like I said, Andy's wrench has a Kieran accessory. That would just be fine. A lot of people would enjoy that. Exactly.
Some
or even
sort
just
of tie-in would be
if you
great.
buy the game and you have it like tied to your Nintendo account, you could do like that whole thing that they did with Mail Byleth when Three Houses came out. Just do a little tiny something with Advance Wars. It's like you can do it. You know you are capable of it. Just think a little bit outside of the box. Please. Please.
Surprise us.
Exactly. We need a little something. We need some fun copium. We can't do it with the competitive. Just do something fun. We're giving you so much ideas. Literally, just hire us both. Literally.
Yeah.
Come on. We are literally
I would say it would also lead on to another lock. Surprise us. Like something completely out of the blue. That is just like, whoa, okay. Like, it may not be the ideas that we have, but just something where it's just like, holy crap.
Yeah, like I want them to actually like throw us like a complete ballpark at some point. It's like they have to do something like that if they want to keep the longevity of this game going. Just straight up. I don't know what they'll do, but it's like they've got to think of something that so that this game just doesn't
straight
die.
Up surprise us.
At this point in the game
going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like at this point in the game, you have all this focus on all these weird like competitive modes that are really dull for trying to get longevity out of the game, but that's not going to work, especially with how unfun it is for just a normal player base who just want to have fun. You got to do something to surprise everybody by doing something really cool. I mean, you were all able to surprise us by finally being able to do real-time PvP already. You were able to finally do something to cater to those people who wanted that, which was a lot of us, to be fair. Even if it's still like just broken and just jarring as hell to play sometimes.
While the implementation isn't great,
you finally attempted it since Fates.
It's there.
Exactly. You finally have something that works within the Heroes format, which is pretty fine because you've always struggled with it. So we know that you are capable of trying out some of these weird things that you've never really been able to grasp at before. So why not try something that's completely out of the park for the casual side? You did it for competitive. You can do it for the other side too. We know you can. It's maybe not even now. Just you need to do something so that the game just doesn't completely flop on its side because of the focus on the competitive of it. Like just you gotta give us something.
And I don't think I could put it any other better way. Like, there is a lot of a shift for it, and people are getting burnt out very quickly.
If you were watching through this entire video, or even watching through like the major parts, that was coming up time and time again. So you need to be able to do something to combat this burnout, because people love this franchise. There's so much stuff that you can do with it, but you can't just focus on this weird gacha competitive stuff. You've got to be able to make it so that you can have fun with this series, especially as a Nintendo IP. You have so much you can work with. You are so capable of doing so many fun things that make these series so special, that make it Nintendo. We know you can do it. And I know nobody from Intelligent Systems or Nintendo is ever going to watch this, but this is always going to ring home. Something's got to happen. And everybody feels the same sentiment. Everybody watching this bit right now, you know that damn well. Everyone knows it. And that's why we love these games. So, that, I guess...
we want this game to thrive. Like, sure, they've had some shady stuff going, like, back in the day, but even so, we're still playing it.
Yeah.
Like, whether that be sunk cost fallacy causing that, but...
yeah, exactly. We all have our own weird
It's not like
we
hate it either. Like, we're playing it because we do enjoy it.
Like, well, obviously we have some loathing bits of it, but that's because we care. That's like what it is for like any game, period. Why else do you think I've somehow been able to stick with Overwatch? Even though I'm under fucking sequel copium over Overwatch 2. Because I genuinely love the game! I don't know what else more to say.
You can hate the game and love the game.
Exactly. You can criticize it all you want, but you still love it at the end of the day.
We're hating
That's why you do
because
it.
we love it. So we want to see something that surprises us.
Exactly.
And like I say, it doesn't have to be anything on this list. It could be the fact that they do go for the idea I just came up with.
Yeah, no, that would be the best case scenario, is that they actually listen to us and do something like that.
Like, check off 2 boxes for actually
That,
going
that
for the idea
that's
that
basically
we
the same thing.
do
Like we
that.
have like 3 of them that are basically like the same sort of thing. Just please do something. Just use our idea. Literally, I'm not even joking. If somebody even wants to just like code like some weird thing, or that's like heavily mod the game, maybe like one day to have that, like, I'm telling you. I mean, modding scenes always revive the base game, and I mean maybe one day. When the regular servers go down, that is going to be something that could maybe happen. But maybe that's just me having a bunch of hopium, because modding scenes for otherwise dead games by their developers are like, they always find a way. They always do.
So to counteract the OMEGALUL, we'll go for surprise us.
Exactly. Do you have another one like maybe off right now? Because I did like the 2 in a row.
To go off the top of my head.
I had something, but I completely just lost it like an idiot.
Yeah. We're doing what we did last time and running out of ideas at the end.
I mean, that's what happens. Eventually, you run out of content. I'm sorry, folks, but you know what? Sometimes, actually, no. Oh, I'm trying to remember. I know exactly what I want to do. It's gonna be the worst idea ever. And this is gonna take up the whole box on my end, and I'll do some weird thing. If it'll actually click, because I'm being dumb. New Feh Channel OC, voiced by Karen Strassman. It's a fucking meme, dude, but it's so funny. It's so funny. Okay, no, fine. All right, fine. New Feh Channel OC. Okay, no matter what happens, if they want to do something weird, there you go. You have so many possibilities. Just don't make it.
We've got Phoenix.
Yes, and everyone hated Phoenix up until, I mean, it's gotten a little better, but it's like, you can do some fun things. Do like some really, because that was one thing that I actually did like with Summoner Duels, is how much they were pushing that game, but also bring in some talent to actually do that stuff. Like, for example, you had the exactly, like, you're bringing back Chris Smith to do a Reinhardt meme and like doing commentary for that sort of stuff, but then also you brought in Patrick Seeks to again do Phoenix, but then go up against Matt, who has done however many somewhat inconsistent, but still like you can remember them, like the banner talks about, like how he does like his little like brief sort of like Fire Emblem official sort of like banner breakdowns, like unit breakdowns, and that it's like being able to bring them in to do this sort of weird stuff is cool. And I think, I mean, one way of being able to incentivize doing that more is by maybe possibly just adding in like a new OC, or just bringing in more of this voice talent to do more fun stuff just with the game. I think that would be just a good way to do that. And I mean, they've got wonderful voice actors to work with. You've got a bunch of just Japanese voice actors and Saiyus that can do that sort of stuff. But even we have all the amazing people at Cup of Tea and just all the new voice actors they've been bringing in over time. They bring so much life to this, and even
there's so much
especially the ones that really do like the series and have been dying to do it. Like I'm trying to remember their name off the top of my head, but Ashes.
Lily.
Yes, Lily. Recently actually did an AMA based off of those who voted for Ash in COIL, but it's like, and even just seeing their posts on Twitter about how much they've loved this series and how much it means to them and also to everyone else finally being a part of it.
Day one player.
Exactly, but just like, overall, just having more of this interaction with all these wonderful people who've worked on this sort of stuff, bring their talents into it by giving us a lot more content to work with.
Like
maybe on just a little bit more of a consistent basis, it would just be fun overall.
I mean, think about the success of Three Houses.
Exactly, like you have a bunch of those voice actors that can do a lot of weird things. Not even the ones in Three Houses. I know Matt Mercer is really damn busy with a lot of stuff, especially like Critical Role, for example. But just seeing him just pop in, like just to do a little something with like one of his voice characters, just for the hell of it, it would be fun. It really would be. And because it reminds me, because they did you know those the videos like they did with the Japanese voice actors and that sort of stuff, where they talked about their experience with Fire Emblem and like their characters that they voice. They've even leaked some stuff there too. Like, didn't they also leak like Leon's Refine, or was that like something else? But you get the idea.
Yeah, that happened.
They could see stuff like that as well, but like do it with the Western audience as well in mind, because we eat that stuff up easily too.
I remember they did do that once.
Yeah, but it's like you
Patrick States, Phoenix interviewed a lot of the cast of Three Houses.
They did do some like But even just having that sort of thing, let's just like for example, at least whatever it was, I completely forgot now. At least
but no, I completely get where you're going for on that one, because it's the interaction.
Exactly. Oh, now I remember. So basically, like with a lot of like Western audiences, or even like especially like just in any sort of like just audience online, you have a lot of people that actually like really care about the personalities and all that stuff behind it. They actually care for the people, not just for their talent, but just overall just really nice people. You see that a lot in like esports as well, when you have people that really shine. That's why you see some of these people becoming some of like the faces of their game, because of the content that they bring out. I mean, I can just say for one, you wouldn't even get it, but I hecking love TENS. Not really, but you get the idea. There's examples of that. Yeah. Because the Valorant scene has popped up a lot with all these content creators that jumped to that game and just doing a lot of other stuff. And just they're able to bring out their personalities. People enjoy them for that stuff. Sure, it's a lot of just people that are just like, you know, children, that sort of stuff. But at least it brings these audiences to care for the game on another level. And I think that's something that this game could have honestly used, for example, especially again, like you have all of these talented voice actors doing a bunch of this stuff. Yeah. And it's just like, it's just extra content to have in this game. Like you don't like, for example, like you have like the animated shorts they were doing with Ice and Flame and that. You don't have to do super amazing like quality stuff like that. Yes, we love that stuff and do that whenever you can, please. But you can do little stuff and just do some fun activities with the voice actors. Like for example, just bring in like, off the top of my head, I mean, you can probably bring in like just name a voice actor who's done something off the top of your head. Like,
well, like I was gonna say,
just have them do something, you know?
Like I always think back, like massive fan interaction was Joe Ziga. Was it Zaja?
Joe Ziga, yeah. Or even just the three of them, like Tara Platt, Chris Hackney, Joe Ziga.
Remember, he cosplayed Claude.
He actually did a lot of stuff. Yeah, and he's very vocal about like his expertise as well, and just the Fire Emblem stuff as well. Because he even became a streamer at one point. I don't know if he still really is, but I know
he's still a streamer. He's still streaming,
which is still kind of crazy. It's just like you get the point. Like you're able to give all of them this sort of like platform, and just being able to at least use that platform to do content for this game in other fun ways. Please, for the love of God, you've got so much stuff you can do here, and just adding something outside of the game like this.
The ground is just doing it for
even just a Feh Channel OC like I have here. A little something goes a long way. Just make it something that's more consistent. Like something that we can look forward to like every 2 months, that you could see, hey, you can bring it, like for example, one thing that they could do, have something on like the English Twitter where it's like consistently like how they bring in like the revival that you can vote for, like the revival banners and that stuff. Yeah. Like, you know, you do something like that, but like, hey, here's a list of voice actors that we have lined up that can do like an event. Which one would you like to see? And do something like that every like 2 to 3 months. I think that would just be cool. Just honestly, they can talk about their Fire Emblem characters, Fire Emblem stuff. Just, it would just be fun. Because I like, even for me, like I've gotten invested into just seeing a lot of other voice actors and just a lot of different stuff. Like some stuff that I've memed, just not even on this channel, which I've wanted to, with the whole Farina stuff, because, well, Farina somehow is a really enjoyable unit for me. It's funny because I also related that Farina stuff because she's voiced by Reba Burr, and she voices a character in Netflix anime, furry anime, Brand New Animal. Her name is, the character's name is Marie, and she is all about the money. And she is kind of snarky in a different way compared to Farina, but that's something that resonated with me. And just seeing other stuff, like, I don't really like Bernadette as a character, as I said before, but I've enjoyed Erica Mendez's voice talents and other stuff. I like seeing her in Agretsuko as Retsuko. That's fun. Sharamai Lee, I love her as Michiru and like some other stuff because it's just like I just enjoy seeing all these voice actors pop up and all these sort of different things and just being able to bring their talent to life and being able to do some of this sort of stuff in a way that resonates with them and resonates with other audiences like us would be fun. I mean, that's why I know there's some people actually out there in the Fire Emblem YouTube or content creation space who literally do interviews with these voice actors. So it's just do something on a more official scale. For example, it's like you have stuff you can work with there.
Make a big thing of it.
Exactly. If you want Fire Emblem to be a bigger like area in terms of Nintendo as an IP, you need to be able to have a way to really do a lot of stuff with content and being able to do that. Like, try supporting it a little bit more officially, not like by like esports or whatever, because I know they won't really do that, but even more casually, just something like that along those lines. You have a lot. And it's like they've always been like kind of like back and forth with that because they ended whatchamacallit, Nintendo Minute with those two hosts. They actually ended that off a little bit ago. And that was lasting for a long, long time. So it's like
5 years, I think it was.
Yeah, so it's like if NOA is able to organize a little something with some of like their other games, especially like their mobile games, because Fire Emblem Heroes is, well, it's one of their bigger racks, and it's just like, you know, it's got a community.
It's still their big
IP.
money maker.
Not their biggest, but it's like it's still there. So being able to do a little something with that would be nice, honestly. Straight up.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you want to say. It's just like we're going on a tangent with this one, but it's true. Please give us something that gives us to connect to these games a little bit more that isn't directly in the game. Simple as that.
Another home screen.
Another
like
home
castle. Like castle.
Yeah, I mean, that could honestly... Yeah, I mean, then again, they gave us one already with Emblem.
Yeah.
That did happen, but I feel like you're not wrong. And it's like, they haven't really used that thing a lot. They really haven't. And yet, you've got a lot of other ideas that you could possibly work off of to have this stuff. I mean, that did that thing with the whole houses thing for 3 houses. And then they did it, obviously, with, like, obviously, Native Lear and, you know, the whole Emblem sort of thing. Like, for example, if they really wanted to, they could do some, like, Silver Snow. That would be, like, something they could do. Or even working off of the weird player cards and doing a few more weird things off of that as well. Like, do some other areas. Like, have something a little bit more ghoulish inspired looking like the Realm of Hell.
Or, like certain map themes. Like, I think a Dragon's Gate castle theme would be cool.
God, that would actually...
Like, with sort of like the jade green floor.
Yeah, because that's a pretty iconic look. Or even, like, other stuff like, those
like
weird water and tile temple maps from Binding Blade.
Yeah.
If you can think of what I'm thinking. Like, having something kind of outlandish like that.
Like, expanding the castle.
To be like some of these other areas, you know? Because they're breaking in so much that it's like, you've got a lot.
Like, maybe tie it to Ether Resort. Use R&R to buy them.
Exactly. That is something you could do as well, because not everyone's always buying up music. You could just buy new things as well.
New themes that you like
exactly.
Like,
you would buy it, like, if that was 5,000 R&R, you would save up for that. Like fuck Veronica accessory, get that. Literally.
Yeah.
Dragon's Gate.
Yeah.
Or like any sort of final map.
Gerrig Muck.
Like a more Gerrig Muck thing, yeah.
Yeah, like make it the
like think of it as in like you're going through the actual gate into it, and you have like gatekeeper like on the side, and you can get lucky and be like, you know, that's a thing. Or because there was another one I was thinking of actually, but I completely forgot. Oh, it was such a good one too.
But yeah, like I say, I think adding more castle themes, while it's very, very unlikely, like to actually make.
It would be honestly fine to get more. Oh, I remember what it was. What if they just turned it into like other areas that are like technically already in the castle? Like, what if they did one inspired by like their giant ass library? Maybe even had like a little Easter egg to that weird. Because
oh yeah, because they keep referring to it in like on Castle
Yeah, like
speaks.
even the like mainly even like when you think of other
Oh
stuff
yes,
too,
and
like
that's right, because there was a map. There was actually a map with the
the
library,
library. Yeah, that is a thing. Yeah, that is a. And it's like, what if they did a reference to that one? I keep trying to think the why can't I think of what they're called? Fourth House, Ashen Wolves. When they did that Forging Bonds, they had that weird interaction with Loki. That was like some weird meta shit. It's like, if you want to like reference that, it's like, okay, what is that too? I mean, you know what? If they want to do a little fucky something, I mean, they've got a lot that you can kind of just work off of, and it's like, why not do a little something? Treat us a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Why not? You don't have to do. Obviously, you're not going to do another anniversary one because that's whatever. But it's like, maybe like give us like a little bit more, like more options for that. Since you're giving us so much stuff with the profile and that sort of stuff, why not? Like even give us like a snowier themed one, like Regel, for example, like how I have mine listed, because that's a thing. Like you're doing like, for example, like all these like weird culture banners, you know? Why not have like sort of themings based off of that? Like I am telling you, like for example, the Igren commissioner would die for a Nevada themed home theme. Like just straight up. For example, that's just like one.
And expanding off of it for another slot with like the profile card thing with the customization of that. So for a different slot, visiting other people's castles.
That would actually be kind of, I mean, you could even, that would actually be kind of cool. Like you have the 3 that are based off of favor, but what if instead of that, like you go off that, but it's like you have an actual castle with a bunch of units that you can actually see like your favorite units. Exactly. And show off builds. Let them see like their skill sets, for example, because that's another thing. Like you have like all this stuff like friends list. People like show their main units, but it's like you don't always see all the skills that they have. Why not just show off certain skill sets that you have set up so that people can see what sort of skills you have?
Yeah. So set up like
I'm making that your next one just to help you out.
Because
good God, that is such a good idea.
Because you know how when you go to the home screen on your castle, you get like random units. What if you could actually set that for people to actually see? Like going to their castle, it loads. They've got their own castle theme, and they could have all their units that they love.
Yeah, exactly. Because like what I use my favor for, because like obviously I'm going to show off my 1K, even though it doesn't matter anymore, dual alm, but like that was a thing. But then I also had brave alm in there because duh, fun unit, it's alm, and good God, he's so good. And then New Year's Glory because that's my other seasonal, and you can technically check that too, I think. But it's like even just showing off your favorite units, even if not, it's just like being able to see that stuff is nice. So maybe doing something a little bit more personal, get another feel, would be cool. And that's what I'm saying. Like you can do this stuff based on like other areas in the Fire Emblem series. Like you have all these listings of other lands. It's like, why not have like home themes based off of that? But even that, just a more effective My Castle just to show off your units.
Yeah.
That just more friend stuff overall, but it's like that's really healthy stuff and just things that you can kind of just passively enjoy. I mean, I don't want to I don't exactly want to visit some fucking UK Buckingham Palace castle grounds of Paul because he's gonna do that and I know it. But it's like that's something. Get that personal touch. It's like people are gonna want to see that. I mean, I obviously don't want to visit Buckingham Palace and Fire Emblem, but I'm sure somebody else would because there's gonna be someone else that hecking loves Paul. Exactly. Just give us some more just fun stuff. That's a good way of doing it.
Yeah. Fun
stuff. And you know what is also fun? And something that I think would actually be kind of nice. Something that we honestly kind of want a little bit more, but I feel like they haven't really figured out the best way of doing it yet. Since there's so many avenues that they've gone about it, but nothing as consistent that I would want. But more supports and lore. Just in general. Just more so like the support bits. I want more units interacting each other. I want to see like more of like support stuff because that's some the best writing that they have gotten in this game is through these like the support things through forging bonds. So being able to have that more accessible with a bunch of different units to give like more in-depth talks and just about stuff, or even just being able to just show off the personalities of a bunch of like different units interacting in really weird scenarios, because this is literally an amalgamation of Fire Emblem all together. You're meeting so many different units across so many series that would never normally interact. It's such a surreal thing for these units to even be in the first place. So why not give them more interaction? Like, give us
lean
some weird
more
shit.
into the actual aspect of Heroes, where you bring so many people in.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't have to be through forging bonds. It could be through like xenologues, just random xenologues thrown
Maybe
in.
that too, yeah. Like,
Just
for
the fun
example,
of it.
I'll take a book out of World Flipper, actually, because they basically, in a way, because you even know this too, like they have their episodes, which are basically as if it's like a support chain, but also kind of like Forging Bonds, where it's like they have like this weird scenario with obviously like their main cast, but throw in like obviously like their, you know, like this new character that you have unlocked. And it's like you get to learn more of their personality and get to see how they interact and just all this other weird stuff, like before they even get like summoned, and that sort of stuff, or even just going to all these like different worlds, seeing them in different scenarios and a bunch of weird stuff. But being able to see more of these characters is just something that would be nice to see. Like for example, it would be really kind of funny to see, for example, I mean, a lot of people like kind of like riff on the whole Lonku and Florina being super shy and being afraid of each other. That would be funny to see like a support thing, or even Bernadetta being scared shitless at somebody. Like I'm willing to bet that if like someone like Freya or worst mom ever Sonia went to her, that would be a really interesting sort of support there, at least the funny ones, because you can do whatever. You can do funny, you can do serious. You can bring back the essence of what these support conversations in the base games could do. Just having just the writing team do a little something. It's like you have all like these people, probably staff on your team, who love to write this a lot more of this stuff because they like these characters and just get a feel for them. So giving everybody a new perspective and stuff that people love, because it's like you're not going to have everything every day where it's like you have Ike mentioning fellow Ragnell enjoyer. That was such a dumb fucking line, but it's such a fucking meme and so funny to see.
It's now iconic.
Exactly. Like, you want more stuff like that people can resonate about.
And I feel that also, like, comparing it to what we were saying about Heroes' Journeys. Like, just the general casual side of things.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But that's not even just that. It's also just building the characters that everyone loves, because you have hundreds upon hundreds of units and NPCs and all that stuff that you can do this stuff with. I mean, you're bringing in all these villains for a reason. You're never going to see anybody like Reeve interacting with whoever the fuck else with this sort of stuff. So maybe seeing like a little funny thing while he's technically on the side of the good guys to an extent, interact with somebody.
Reeve and Iago talking, or
I mean, that was like, for example, the Brave Cloud support talking with all those villains, like Iago and Narcian and that sort of stuff, understanding tactics and that. Like, that was such a weird experience to see, but one that was welcome. So seeing stuff like that on a little bit of a larger scale, it's like,
play into the concept.
Exactly. You've got such a goldmine here, bringing all these Fire Emblem characters together. You've got to give us a little bit more at the writing. At least that would be something that we would enjoy a lot. So maybe if you threw in a little something, it's like, why not? So like, it's like,
I know that I've been lacking on reading the Forging Bonds, but
I always try to read through it whenever it happens, because it's just,
for me it becomes a grind. But if
eventually, yes.
But luckily that they have got the compendium, you know, in the recaps, I can read through them at my leisure.
Exactly.
And that's good. If I'm ever needing like a break from monotony, I do read through them. Like,
yeah,
sure,
I'm past, and it's nice looking back on like other
period. Like,
yeah, but it's like it's nice getting a look back at some of this other stuff. You know, it's just like being able to read up on another conversation again. Like if you're having a conversation, like a discussion in like a Discord or whatever, like a Discord Feh chat about whatever. You're like trying to like reference something or remember something. It's like you can give something a little read, and it's like, wow, that's interesting to think about. And just it's a lot to think about. Like for example, it's like you have basically Fallen Edelgard, or just an Edelgard talking with Milla. Because that was really cool to see. At least.
That was trippy, but it was
exactly.
good.
Exactly. Like, I keep thinking back to the CYL Forging Bonds, because I don't know if that was the very, very best of the support conversations that they've had for that stuff, but that is some of the best fucking writing that this game has ever put out. Because of how, like, I guess I wouldn't say risky, but how much of a risk they did take with trying that sort of thing, with doing something that outlandish, but it worked. Because obviously it was a bunch of like the same characters from the same, it was all, you know, CYL 3 houses. So they had to try something. And it worked. So why not give us more of that on more consistent basis?
Like, an outlying story I quite liked was Gatry's.
I'm trying to remember that one. What, like, it was the...
he was trying to go after Frasier.
Oh yeah, that was funny as fuck. I remember
funny,
that, yeah.
But also, it was like, Frasier was avoiding him because she felt that she didn't deserve, like, that.
Yeah. It even gives a little bit more of like a story. It's like for these OCs, like for example, because you know how Lif is basically making the Revengers or whatever the hell, like the Fey Avengers and that. But what if you had that perspective of like Lif and Thracia are interacting in the Summoner's army, like, and seeing how they sort of develop through that our environment, rather than just seeing like the canon story, because obviously that's going to make sense, obviously. But why not see the other perspectives, especially for OCs that have technically passed? Why not see some of that stuff? Because that's always some of the best stuff. It's like, obviously, I mean, when it came to the whole Legion thing, death wasn't the end. But it never has to be, especially when you have these scenarios where it's like you can do something with these OCs that have already died, but you still have a version of them.
Having the dragons, like, they can expand on their lore, and they can expand on the heroes that they summon. Like, they can expand everything. Like,
exactly.
They have the potential, and
like at some point, I don't know when, but
they're gonna reveal what they're planning for.
Exactly, and maybe at one point they might actually make Alphador like summonable and that sort of stuff. But being able to do that sort of stuff, talk with a bunch of like OCs or just a bunch of characters and just get a whole perspective on things as a whole would be quite interesting to see. Just overall, I mean, that's obviously at the end of the lifespan, but doing something like this already as is, and then eventually seeing something like that would be cool. That's straight up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And as my last thing, at least, because you're gonna get the final one, because that's just how luck of the draw works. Good job. Not necessarily connected to this, but in a way, sort of, because it's actually going to involve Tempest Trials. I want them to do basically kind of what they already do with Forging Bonds and have a extra TT event or plus, or I don't even know how to at least for to word it, you know, but basically they could do like another Tempest Trial event or do stuff to where they actually increase the cap back to 99999, you know, do that, or you can do a Forging Bots to make it a little bit quicker and that sort of stuff. Maybe if you want to bring back some of these other Tempest Trial maps, because it's like, for example, one that I really did enjoy myself, because I didn't really get to experience the earlier on TTs, was when they did that weird massive bring back of all of the previous Tempest Trial units and bringing back all their final maps. You remember that, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so like you can't access any of those final maps anymore. It's just used for this sort of stuff. So like,
and it's still in the data.
Exactly. So being able to bring them back in a way, like doing like an extra just Tempest Trial event, just doing a lot of fun, weird things, and maybe developing maybe even like a little story in there. You don't have to, but you get what I mean. Just being able to
like
access these maps even more. Even like you could do it in the Rogue thing too, for example. But
that's what I was going to bring up. Yeah.
If you want to do these extra sort of like events, bringing back some of these like older maps, like within like a Tempest Trial setting, like you can do that sort of thing. Like you don't have to have like a lot of rewards. Maybe you can even have previous Tempest Trial character as well, to maybe even offset the whole like Grail thing. I mean, they already do that with the limited ephemera, but it's like you can kind of go a little bit more with that, you know? There's nothing stopping you from giving us access to more of these free units. Like, why not? Literally, why not?
Yeah.
So I think that would be cool. Or even just upping the rewards to give people incentive to do some more stuff.
It keeps people playing.
Exactly, and I think that's the most important thing. But you don't want to make it so that you have to grind, which is probably why the reward thing is a little bit weird. But if you do like these mini TT events that are like obviously like you have it, or like just go up to like 20,000, so you get all the rewards really quickly, and you have the that bonus thing that they introduced last year, where you go up a fuck ton, like you go up to like 9k from your very first run, and then you just have to grind up the last 11,000 for whatever else. But you can keep playing these maps just to have access to these, you know, like these older maps and just doing a bunch of other weird stuff. It's like, that would be cool. Even make that as like a tiny extension or whatever of like the rogue stuff. Just have these tempests just brought back, like a mega tempest. That would maybe like, I don't know. Like, I mean, that's sort of like what you would call like the kaleidoscope in this game, is literally just the tempest. Like, you have a lot of things that you can kind of do with that sort of thing and expand on this game mode in a way that could be a lot more honestly interesting, especially for gachas, because you have these kaleidoscopes and side game stuff. You can do something like this with the tempest. So it's like, just as an example, that's something you can do. You don't have to do the whole rogue thing, but it's like you can maybe just do more incentive for people to kind of just get some more rewards out of it. Maybe bring back the older feel and make things a little bit more odd. Obviously that'd be kind of weird, but it would at least take your mind away from things. And I mean, I guess it would help out with the people who are like grinding up a lot needlessly. You have more rewards that you can get there, but just even just like a quicker like Tempest Trial event, like maybe you can just bring back for some rewards and that sort of stuff. And even as an example, you can bring these back before those seals go into the seal shop for new players too. You can give them another chance to get these seals too, just like how they would with Forging Bonds with the accessories. Yeah, I think that would honestly be fine, literally. Like, just do something like that with Forging Bonds, just make it a little bit more, you know, like how they do it, because the Forging Bonds reruns happen every 2 months. Why not have it cycle monthly with Forging Bond Tempest Trial? Like, that seems like that would be kind of cool and something they could technically do. Yeah. This month is technically free, so you can do another Tempest Trial. Why not? People don't mind Tempest Trial, actually, but
even if they reduce rewards in it.
Exactly. Like, well, obviously they would by having the rewards and that sort of stuff. Like, it's fine. Just give us a little something else, you know? Like, it might feel a little bit needlessly grindy in a way, but at least they're giving us a little bit more content. But that's why I'm telling you, do something a little bit more original with it, you know? I think that would be fine. Hell, even make people vote on it so we vote for, like, the original Tempest Trial. That would be funny as fuck. Have that to where it's like, all that and up the difficulty to make it actually annoying. It's like, that would actually be kind of funny, so that everyone can experience it. But it's like, you get the idea, you know? Yeah. All right, Paul, you better have something very good to end this off on. A final send-off. A final last reprieve of content.
Well, it's not impressive as an idea, but a lot more My Summoner customization.
Like, yeah, I mean, that did.
That line, being able to customize more, like more designs, more weapons. Go and get staffs involved.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they haven't done a little bit more of that. Like, in a way, it kind of felt like they were going to do a little more of that, but then they kind of stopped. But I wouldn't mind seeing more Kieran customization. And I mean,
more weapons,
if you want to do a Lagoose Kieran, that would be kind of funny. Just it wouldn't make.
I doubt it would happen.
It wouldn't make any sense, but that would be kind of cool. You know, you don't have to do anything like even like dragons. You have a lot of weird things that you can kind of do with this Kieran. Even if it's kind of based on us, like in our real world or whatever, you're still going to do the whole fantasy spin on it. You kind of already have, so it's like, why not do a little bit more? Like, even just like more accessories too. Like, not even like crossover stuff. Like, you probably have some weird stuff you can put on your Kieran, just like with a bunch of you know,
Like we had the head
more-
photos for April Fools.
Yeah, which was kind of, yeah, because that was tying into some other dumb thing, but like at least that was something new for the Karen, because it's like Karen DJ. It's like, it's kind of funny, but even just making it a little bit more personal, your summoner, because like even I don't really like use like just a default Karen, although I would kind of like to, but it's like, no, I stick with one of the unique designs and just have a lance on it, but I just have Trident Blessed just because I feel like it would just be, you know, me to just hold a fucking trident. I don't know why, it'd just be kind of funny, you know. No, the whole fucking otter water fucking motif sort of thing. Also, somehow, I like having a trident in any Minecraft world I play, so.
Yeah. But honestly,
but still.
Like, it looks like they're trying to expand on customization, like with the profile card and things like that.
Yeah. So seeing them do a little bit more Kieran stuff, especially for the anniversary, I think that's honestly kind of likely. I'm not gonna lie. That seems like a pretty reasonable take. I think, at least.
Yeah.
So it's just like, just give us more casual stuff to keep us playing this goddamn game. That's literally what this entire video is. Literally. I'm not even joking. Like, this is electric
Boogaloo.
Boogaloo.
Turn around and call us filthy casuals, but at the end of the day, it's a mobile game.
Everybody, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of people who are playing this game that are like casual. Like, a lot of the casual fans have been getting in things with 3 houses and that sort of stuff. So why not bring more of them into Feh by doing a little bit more just casual stuff? And honestly, it's going to help with the burnout on some of us just competitive stuff, because it's like, it's not even real competitive. It's not like it's an esport and that sort of stuff. It's like gotcha, just snore stuff. So it's like, if you could do more fun things, that's going to help the longevity just tenfold. And it's just because it's not like gotchas are like some weird thing that have to be like this weird pay to win, like dumb sort of like money scheme or whatever. It's a game like everything else at the end of it. So making it just listen to your fans. Yes, you're your Nintendo or whatever else, but you can listen to us and just make the game better. I mean, if you want people to take mobile games seriously, it's like, come on.
Offer an experience, not a game. Like,
Exactly.
I swear that's like the ethos of Nintendo, of just like, the games have got to be fun.
Exactly, and doing that with this sort of thing, it's like, it makes sense. Or it's just like just making it a little bit more common house. Like, even if you wanted more casual stuff, hey, hi, I don't have a lot, but you can sponsor me. Become the next Raid Shadow Legends. But you get what I mean? Just gotta do something to get us playing, just caring a lot more. Always. Exactly.
Burnout. Like, Choose Your Legends is always going to bring people back into the discussion.
Which is why we really talk about this stuff, was talking about CYL and just overall the stuff, because it's anniversary. We can celebrate Fire Emblem on a more consistent basis. So it's like, why not? We care for this game. We really do. And I think that's overall just the whole sentiment of this video. Electric Boogaloo anniversary bingo. Except we are trying to somehow save the game, because last year was really rough, but this year you can work on it tenfold. And honestly, like, in a way, I kind of want to look back on the old video, the first one that we did, and see how a lot of the stuff that we've like talked about there, how it's kind of aged and just what we kind of hoped for that year. Because I feel like this is sort of just like, because if we're going to do this on a yearly basis, it just feels like it's something where we can just talk about stuff that we want to see from the game going forward, what we think about the overall game health, and just, you know, just vibe out, just talk about what we want to see. Because honestly, it's not
I'm pretty sure we've touched on things that we talked about last year.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, obviously, some of it's repetitive run, or obviously, but it's like, it's stuff that we do want, but it's stuff we obviously care about. Because, like, you don't always have the opportunity to do stuff like weekly or monthly podcasts for this sort of stuff, because I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening where there's also not a lot changing. So it's just like being able to have a conversation about this stuff once in a while, hell, annually, it's just like it makes sense, you know? It gives us time to reflect and just hope. It's like, yeah. And it's like, hopefully, to anybody who has listened through this entire video, which at this point is maybe going past the 3-hour mark, which is at least an hour more than the last one. It's like, if you listen through all this, hit that subscribe button and leave a like. Subscribe to both of us because we love this game and we want people to talk about this stuff with. And I'm sure you share the same sentiments. Like, literally, I'm not even joking. Leave a comment below and tell us if you want the whole roguelike sort of game mode. Because I think that is probably our magnum opus for this video, let alone anything else that we can come up with content-wise. Like, seriously, this is literally a gold mine. Yeah. But I want to know, seriously, anybody from, like, if you're finding this video from Twitter, either of our YouTubes, from other connections of content creators, from the subreddit, I want to know what you guys think about some of this stuff, especially that map, like that idea, because it's like, there's a lot of stuff that can be done, but I feel like just getting engaged on that sort of stuff would just be kind of fun. And it would be nice to kind of just brainstorm, just do this. Yeah. And maybe, because there are some very talented people, like I said, modding is one hell of a drug, and I'm sure someone can figure something out. A whole team. It's like, it would be fun. Because at the end of the day, we all love this series. We all love this game. And being able to do something with that would be nice. And be able to just take part in that. And it's like, that's why we're here. That's why I'm here talking to my bud Paul. I mean, we bonded initially over this game. And now it's like, you know, we can crack jokes about ourselves being idiots. I can bully this guy for sitting in a recording session with me that has lasted over 3 hours long. And some of it's just been filled up with shits and giggles and not even knowing what to fill this video up with. That's the beauty of it all. But yeah.
Right at this moment, we're closing up for bingo now. But
yeah. And the final card will be up already by now at this point.
Because we've been recording so long, do you want to quickly look over the mythic banner that's just...
Is it actually out? Are you serious?
And I've just seen who it is.
Oh my god, you know what? Fine. I'm gonna make a cut here so I can set the whole thing. We're doing it. We're just enjoying Fire Emblem, folks. Secret thing. I'm not even gonna put this advertised in the video. Maybe a little bit on Twitter. But if you were here, you're here. Simple as that. Oh my god, I got spoiled with it, but oh god. Who is the voice actress for this? I actually want to know. They finally did it too. Fucking Elimine! It's about time!
I am the last goddess to descend upon the land. Is that truly what people say?
It's refreshing to see.
Emily, really? Good god. And attack speed for Trace. It's about time that happened too.
Attack speed for Trace, that already exists.
Oh wait, yeah, never mind. I'm being dumb, but...
Okay, so that is a...
Okay, now I'm not... No, okay, I'm saying it now. I'm not going to shame anybody if this gets the Hero Rises picks. I don't care. I do not care. Elimine is worth it. I don't care. Even if it's Bandmog, it doesn't matter. He finally did Elimine. Holy shit.
Yes. Okay, so...
It's a long time coming. Okay. No, I'm still watching through this. Or at least the whole... What's the banner then? Okay, so it's mostly Ashen Wolves, Fjorm, Ascended Fjorm, Volk.
Are we seeing Yuri in it?
No Yuri, actually, no. It's just Constance and Balthus. Or Constance and Happy. And then Volk, Seliph, Julia, Claude, Atri, Ashera, Peony, Odor, and Fjorm.
Also, so, very weird choice on the pair up with Atri, I saw.
Probably didn't have much there, honestly, but it's...
Well, normally it was it was Rota before.
Oh, you know what? It's something. I don't know. All right, let's see it. So, Staff of the Saint.
Staff of the Saint.
Yeah, so you can read it then.
Okay, foe cannot counterattack. At start of turn, grants defense res +6 to allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn, and inflicts false start on foes in cardinal directions of unit with res less than units res. In summoner duels, if false start is inflicted at the same time that any start of turn effects trigger for the opponent, effect will still trigger with the exception that those that restore HP and deal damage. Okay, so what is false start? Through their next action, target cannot activate skill effects that trigger at start of turn.
Oh my god. Unit to transform or that refresh availability of dual and harmony skills will trigger This effect is neutralized at start of turn with skills like even recovery, auto recovery. Effects would have triggered at start of turn, like healing and damage will then trigger.
Weird. That's a weird effect.
It does nerf the skills that come back, which is all right. That's fine.
So
I hate how they're nerfing beasts though. Like, why would you nerf beasts?
Certain beasts.
But it is interesting.
Like, certain
the thing
beasts,
is,
I would say,
almost all of them are going to get targeted though because it's being figured out on a res check, and not a lot of beasts have high res unless you're like Liar or a Heron, you know, for example. Or yeah, Selkie too.
But false start. So
I'm trying to wrap my head around the whole effect, but I think that's honestly like, I mean, it's interesting. I think it is. I don't know how practical it is. It feels like it's a weird meta bandage in a way, you know? But at the same time, they knew what they were doing with this. So they clearly had a reason for it.
At start of turn, so that gets rid of
that actually gets rid of the bonus movement.
Yep, bonus movement gone.
Wow.
It gets rid of tactics. It gets rid of.
I think honestly, the movement thing is most important here because you have to think anybody with that that movement bonus, they have shit res.
Yeah.
So this works, and you can position her however the hell you need because she's a flyer too. Wait, what is her mythic as well? She's Astra Mythic, giving speed. So she's actually useful in that sort of stuff because you still see calf lines and shit like that too. And Aether Raids and that.
Yeah.
Wow. And it also nerfs Duo Dogger's Pathfinder stuff too. There's a lot of weird stuff that
no, it doesn't.
Kind of. Actually, yeah,
it doesn't because that's a very passive thing. That's
not like the passive Pathfinder. I meant like the duo skill, but at the same time, that doesn't make any sense because does it come back? I think it does. Maybe? I don't remember.
Okay, so
maybe not. Maybe I'm completely mistaken, but it does get rid of a lot of like the weird stuff. But honestly, the bonus movement I think is key because now you have something that actually works.
The way it affects duo skills is, say for example, at start of odd turns for Erica duo, you know, with the dodge.
Yes.
It will not.
You can activate it once, but if it's going to try to activate itself again, but you get hit with false start, it won't. That's actually huge.
That's how it affects duo skills.
I guess my whole thought of it though, because
that's more effective in defense.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Obviously, because
it's effective in both because being able to position yourself anywhere.
Yeah, but it's not like you can really use the false start stuff to dodge duels and harmonics on like an offense because they're not using those skills on Aether Raid's defense. Obviously not, but they will in Summoner's Duels. This is why they have that weird whole clause there. But it does make me wonder because we already had a unit that was trying to deal with these bonus movement units.
Which was,
that was Loki with Stall.
Yeah,
the Cardinal effect. I think this one might be a little better because it does more than that, obviously, and it's by arguably probably a better check since it's a res check. She's also a flyer, so she has the idea to move wherever she needs too. So
I can see it being very useful in Aether Raids. I don't see it being very useful in Summoner Duels.
Possibly not. It really depends. It really depends. Like the map that we are on right now, because that has some like the water tiles and that sort of stuff, like the impassable terrain, could technically work, but you can still maybe get picked off. But it's like it's there. Another thing that actually does help with the Aether Raids though is that you've also got Nudge as well, which is the shove heal. It's not quite Smite, but it still pushes someone forward to take advantage because you're going to be keeping Elimine back.
As well.
That too, yeah. So you do have the cancel movement too. Because she's obviously not going to be wanting to attack a lot of things. Obviously, yes, she can because she has attack and res. Through attack and res push 4 and more than that, but...
The reason why I say it's not great in summoner duels is because of cardinal directions.
Exactly. But I mean, that can be said for cardinal directions effects overall.
To get the most out of cardinal direction debuffs, you have to move her last.
And I think that's fine.
As a healer, bad.
Kind of, yes. But as someone who can kind of just do whatever as a support unit, it can work. You're just not going to be healing. But that's not like a big thing. You're going to be using her mainly for this sort of weird utility.
That's the main thing. Like, if you want to use the debuff, you have to move her last, but you also want to be able to keep healing at the front. So you'll want to keep healing at front and use her first. People can just say, "Oh, I'll just avoid that now."
But people aren't really using healing though, at least not like with a healer. Because even I was using that a bit with Jenny when I was using that in my grind to 1K, but it wasn't the best sort of thing to use. Even with Physic, it just wasn't something I was always using. So it's like, it's not like it's that pivotal in terms of a match, but at the same time, I can see where that comes from. I can. But it's like, she's mostly just doing the weird support thing with false start, since you have to think as well. She has dazzling with that weird combat thing and then the Canto. So it's like, it's like, she's not the most geared for combat. She's geared with this weird support stuff. And she can technically heal and reposition. She can technically do both. Not in the best way, obviously, but she can technically do it. Like, think about it like this. If you're in a cardinal like direction, that sort of thing, and you're going to be healing somebody from below them, and you shove them up, and you're going at somebody who, like, let's just say, like, you're basically shoving them away so that you're not directly behind them, so that you have that unit as the wall from, like, your enemy, so that they won't go for Elimine, you know? So, like, you have that sort of... I think that's another way of using it, at least in Summoner Duels. Not the best, but I think that was kind of the idea. Because they've got some other stuff, too. Holy Ground as well. You gotta keep that in mind, too, because I'm actually reading this now. Reduce damage from foes' attacks during combat to allies within 2 spaces by 30%. And grants defense and res +4 to those allies during combat.
So basically...
That kind of just helps that even more, you know?
Flame. Better flame.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But in the way of like a Niffle.
I'm also going to say, false start also very much dependent, like if it's good or not, dependent on whether the units inflicted with it are still able to receive the buffs from units that aren't afflicted with it.
What do you mean by that? Elaborate.
So, say if... say if Fallen Edelgard gets hit with false start, she doesn't get the
movement buff.
Movement.
She doesn't transform either.
She doesn't transform either. But what if another unit has armored boots? Not armored boots. What's it called? Armor March.
I think that would still apply because you also remember how you mentioned tactics earlier and how that would sort of cancel out. Because it cancels out any skill effects that would happen on that unit. The only way you would be able to apply that stuff or just negate the stuff is with recovery. But it's like, that's not...
Thing is, though, it says target cannot activate skill effects. Target. So the target that is afflicted with false start.
So I guess, yeah, maybe you could get like visible buffs and maybe the additional movement.
Still get the additional movement still from that.
Yes, so but the main thing is that you're not going to be transformed, though. Like so the most important thing is still there.
Thing, yes, that is a major thing. But I'd still say the usability of false start will come down to that.
Yeah, which I think it'll take some time to figure out, but I think they'll figure it out. Like and also
like a weird isolation.
Yeah, and no matter how you see it, we are going to see a point where Elimine is going to be on most teams because she's a mythic. So she's going to be counting towards Summoner Duels R. So the next time that rolls around, she's probably going to be a bonus unit there. So you'll see however many people forcing her forcing to use her there. And we'll see how that sort of works out. Even we'll probably see it even before that, just overall in summer duels, but R is really where you're going to see it, because I think we're really seeing we saw a lot of Ashe there too. Because I didn't see it as much before, but through R and being forced to use her, because you're not going to use like Fjorm or whoever else was there. Who was the third one? I don't remember, but you get the idea. Everyone was basically just using Ashe, and you could really see how she worked, because she was able to successfully deal with fallen Edelgards, because yeah, she kind of does that. Maybe not necessarily some other stuff, but it's like she clearly had a place, and especially with the movement stuff. So it's like, you've got stuff you can work with. It's just like, it's a lot to really figure out, and it's a lot of labbing and just seeing overall how the landscape adjusts to this, to see where you really fit in. But I think being able to at least have this and make it something that's actually consistent, at least consistently available more than stall, I think that's fine. Honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. So I'm just like, you know what? Why not let Hell ring loose with being able to cleanse off all of the dumb stuff? Not as super consistently, but as more consistently as it was before. So I'm glad this is a thing. And to be fair, it's not like it is replacing stall as well, because stall actually turns that bonus into a penalty. This one just negates it, so you're still moving 2. So you're not getting the full thing of stall, to where if you actually successfully hit someone, they're gonna just move like a fucking armor unit. It's just like, yeah, there's that obvious difference there, but at least the obvious bit is there. And also, actually, never mind, because I was thinking of something else but it doesn't make sense. Because I was thinking, would it cancel out Holy Knight Aurora? But it wouldn't, because it's not a serve turn thing. So
yeah,
doesn't matter. But you still have a lot of uses there, because most of this stuff applies at start of turn. Again, the main 3 problems with bonus movement all have bad res, and you're able to handle it with that and just make them normal. Which I think is fine, honestly. I think that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
So,
like I say, it will come down to whether or
too.
not she's like, whether that becomes a clincher of a ability or a debuff.
Yeah. Her stats as well, because she didn't have any. I'm just trying to make sure she didn't have any word stat stuff, right? Yeah, no, she didn't. So she has got 36 HP. Jesus Christ. 40 speed, 16 defense, 41 res, and
yeah. 40...
I'm actually a little confused. Because they have Sarah on the map. With her own attack, she's actually boosting her base attack.
That's pretty low attack.
Maybe, at least, because it's what? Horn attack is what? -5? Or, yeah, because it 4? So that's 40. So then go down to 48 minus 14. So that's 34? That's still not awful. And it's not like she's really attacking anyway. Yeah, she has attack res push, but that's more, I think, for the res check in a way, but not. I don't know. You're not really using her for combat anyway, so it's not a big deal. She doesn't have Wrathful, so it's like, well, you can do that technically. She has the speed to actually be a combat unit, but that's not what they have her initially doing, you know? And you literally have Wrathful Staff from this limited ephemera too. So if you really wanted to, you can give that Sakura to this Elimine. So why not?
I just looked up. She pretty much beats Halloween Mia in every stat except for defense.
Okay, well, no shit. You're already coping with the fact that Nana was complete full power creep of Halloween Mia. You're coping, dude. All right, you know what? We need some content. We need you to genuinely just cry. And you know what? With that one being said, he's gonna go cry to sleep, and I'm gonna end off this video. If you somehow made it through basically like 3.5 hours of this whole entire thing, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, because I heard it'll play a reverb fart, Paul's favorite sound effect of mine on the soundboard. And yeah, my name is Val. That's been Paul, the weird Brit guy I know. And yeah, we will hopefully see y'all next year if you want to see this next one, or just check out our normal stuff. But otherwise, I appreciate you all for even just stopping by, just watching even a little bit of it. But overall, thanks for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
become funny. I can't not laugh at Reverb part.
I became funny. Let's go.
Become funny.